call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got 'em in your sights.
Just 1 week ago, Colleyville Heritage began the 2024 season. They used a dramatic 41-yard field goal to secure a last-minute win over Red Oak. Tonight, the Panthers try to make it 2-0 as they hit the road to face another formidable 12-win team from 2023, the Richland Royals. That's coming up next on Panther Friday night here on Tradio. Touchdown. That's 6. Panther Friday night here on Tradio. Welcome in here in North Richland Hills, Texas. A capacity of about 12,000 here tonight. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil, and we're very excited for this matchup. Once again, we get another non-district affair, the final tune-up, so to speak, for Colleyville before they enter into district play next week at the Colony. But tonight, the Richland Royals on the other side, another quality team, just like Red Oak, a team that won 12 games, went 12-1, and just like the Hawks of Red Oak, set a new record for most wins in school history. So Jed Cates for the Royals, Jerry Edwards for Colleyville Heritage, set to battle it out here tonight, and it should be a fantastic matchup, Shannon.
I am looking forward to this matchup, Will. Last week, these guys put one heck of a game in the second half. You know, the defense, I like to consider them as a rubber band defense. They'll bend, but they didn't break in the second half, you know. And so I'm very excited to see how they're going to come out and play. And also the offense with Mr. Blewett and Mr. Weaver. Those guys set it on fire last week, and I know they want to continue that streak this week, but they're going to face a tough defense. These guys on defense, as I've looked over and did my homework, everyone on the defense had multiple tackles, but everybody at least had one tackle. So that one thing that lets me know is it's a swarming defense, so it should be exciting tonight.
It should be. Both teams picked up a victory in week one. For Colleyville, they top Red Oak, and much thanks to one guy you already mentioned, Braden Blewett, 8 catches, over 200 yards. And for all the talk of the town about the trio of Division I athletes on the other side last week, Braden Blewett was the one that stole the show, as he himself had more receiving yards than the entire Red Oak receiving core. 7 catches for over 200 yards, and that fantastic 40-yard touchdown catch he had before halftime. He was a man on a mission last week, a very fun connection that we're excited to see develop between Bodie Weaver and Braden Blewett this season.
Well, Mr. Blewett, I personally want to tell you that you dominated last week, and you made 3 receivers that are all Division I receivers, or very talented receivers, but it was all about you last week, and I give you credit, and I want to say, hey, you played one hell of a game, and, man, I can't wait to see you play tonight.
It's going to be very exciting. A lot of people from Grapevine, Texas, going to make the trip here and see what's going to happen tonight between the Royals and the Panthers here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. So glad that you've taken some of your time this Friday evening. We got a better idea of what the Colleyville Heritage team is going to look like here in 2024 and how they themselves would follow up what was an impressive season last year, picking up a dozen victories, and for the 4th time in the last 8 seasons, they're a team that can consider themselves competing for a regional title, getting to that regional title game, and Jerry Edwards talked all about that. We'll hear from him in just a little bit on the pregame show with our interview segment with head coach Jerry Edwards. But one thing that stood out to me when we were able to speak with him this week is he said, I want our biggest improvement this season to happen from week 1 to week 2. And that is a big thing he looks forward to seeing tonight. But it will be a different type of challenge. Opposed to Red Oak, Richland has a 4-star recruit as well, but it's the running back, Michael Turner, the 4-star running back committed to Baylor, and some say he's the best running back in the DFW area. That'll be a challenge for the Panthers defense here tonight.
They will definitely get challenged. Anytime you got a star running back coming at you, they're going to run the ball, try to run it down your throat. They're going to test you. They're going to test your linebackers. They're going to test and see if you're going to be in the gaps you're supposed to be in. They're going to test your 4-2-5. They're going to see where your weaknesses are, and they're going to try to exploit you there. So it's going to be interesting to see. But if these guys play or finish the way they finished last week, they should be okay.
And finish, such a big word, because last week in the second half, the Panthers' defense stole the show. Red Oak wasn't able to score with their offense on the field in the second half. It was the points that they put on the board, that was from a pick 6 that Bodie Weaver threw. And for a guy making his first start as QB1, opening drive second half, to throw a pick 6 and go down again by double digits, to have that come from behind effort, that was very, very big in terms of the confidence for the Panthers moving forward. Hey, we can be a resilient bunch. We're down by a dozen right before halftime. We're down again by 10, but a couple of big kicks and, well, some fortune that came their way from some bad snaps on special teams, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, what that lets me know is at halftime they made some adjustments. The coaches went in. They saw what they were doing wrong. They went in. They got in the kid's ear. They drew it up on the board, and the guys came out and they executed perfectly because they pretty much shut the Red Oak offense out the second half. So if they can now start this game the way they finished and make those corrections during the game, it should be a good one. But, they shouldn't have so many problems with this running back.
We are looking forward to that one. We talk a lot about what Jerry Edwards has brought to this program, and he said this week that he has built it upon being a tough, physical defense, and he has built it upon a football team that wants to stop the run, and they'll try to rise to that challenge here tonight. Well, we'll take a quick timeout. On the other side, you'll hear from head coach Jerry Edwards. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Number one Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Hey, just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Hey, start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Hey, just can't.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth. Because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Jerry Edwards. Coach, your team showed a lot of discipline in week 1. You're down by double digits on a couple different occasions. You come back, pick up the victory. What does that week 1 win do to prepare you for tonight in those late game pressure moments going forward this season?
Well, I think it's always the good to come away with a win. You know, Panther fight never dies. And, you know, our kids truly believe in that. And we're going to fight until the final whistle. And the score doesn't matter until it's over. And so our kids fought back, faced some adversity. You know, I didn't think we executed to a very high level in the first half. I thought the second half we did a much better job of playing Panther football, and we were able to capitalize on a couple of their mistakes. And we weren't, you know, we didn't give up a whole lot when we made mistakes, and we kept the game close. You know, going in at halftime, 22-19, I believe is what it was, and knowing that how bad we had played and kept the game close, I felt really good about making the adjustments we needed to make to get the win in the second half, and our kids did. You know, unfortunately, we threw a pick 6 right there to start second half, but, you know, our kids responded. You know, Bodie made some big plays after that. He didn't let it phase him. Defense stepped up, didn't allow a touchdown in the second half. And then our special teams came through big. You know, Zuck with 2 big kicks to put it away. You know, and what, you know, some people forget about is, you know, we get 2 block kicks, you know, a PAT and a field goal early in the game. That's 4 points. And, you know, that was really a difference in the game. So those things we executed well. But, you know, the biggest improvement needs to be from last week to tonight. And I think our kids have put in the work this week.
You bring up the kicking unit and just special teams in general. Blocked PATs, huge. And for Ryan Zuckert to hit a career long during this game and then also kick the game winner as well, that has to do a lot, you would think, for your team's confidence, in particular the offense. Hey, we get to the 25-30 yard line, we're pretty sure we can put 3 on the board, right, Coach?
Yeah, you know, I tell our team all the time, and our coaches and players know that, you know, anytime we match up with a team, special teams for the Panthers should be in the plus column. That should be an advantage for us because it really comes down to discipline and details. But, you know, it's very, and we talk to our offense all the time, it's like, hey, once we get to a certain point in the field, we're guaranteed 3 points because of our kicking game. So now let's convert that 3 into 6. Let's take care of the football, make sure we don't take any big sacks or get any big-time penalties to take 3 points off the board. So that does, and it helps our play calling and everything, that confidence that we can get the job done once we get to a certain part of the field.
What we talk about tonight is we kind of talk about these first couple non-district games against really good football teams. Last week it was the receiving core for your opposition that a lot of people talked about. Your secondary and defense rose to the challenge. Now tonight there's another running back on the other side. What does that do to challenge your defense, and what are you looking for them to do to stop the Baylor commit tonight in the backfield?
Well, we're excited about it. You know, we faced Taz last week, was a Baylor commit, and then Michael Turner tonight, the running back, who's another Baylor commit. But, you know, Richland on the offense, they have everybody coming back from a very successful team last year. You know, Michael Turner kind of gets all the highlights, but they have a good receiving core as well that can really hurt you in the passing game. And the quarterback is the coach's son. He's kind of an unsung hero. He manages the offense to perfection. He'll run the football. He's effective with his feet. He gets the ball out quick in the passing game, and they'll stretch it vertically. And so really, really balanced offensively for them. There's a couple things that we're going to lock in on and key on and make them do. But it's a great challenge for our defense as we prepare for our district games that are, ultimately really the ones that count.
Well, you had Bodie Weaver make his debut as the starting quarterback. We'll talk about that when we come back on Panther Friday Night.
We'll be back in just a moment. It's Panther Friday Night here on Tradio.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth. Because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
When you're the number 1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. $14,000 in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. $14,000 total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Hey, just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Hey, just can't get enough.
Back with you here on the pregame show alongside head football coach Jerry Edwards and coach Bodie Weaver, starting quarterback. What's your evaluation of his performance? First game as a starter, makes some key throws and uses his legs a lot. Would love your thoughts on how he performed in week 1.
Yeah, I thought he did extremely well. I asked him on Wednesday, how was it getting your first start at QB1? And he said he enjoyed it. He's a competitor, and competitors find ways to win. He took a little bit too many hits that we told him that he needs to get out of bounds or get down, and because we got to preserve him for the remainder of the season. But he's just kind of like our quarterback last year, just wants to get every yard that he can get. But he came in, performed well. Did a tremendous job leading our offense. There's some things that he needs to clean up, and he knows, and he's been working on it this week. So he's only going to get better and better and better as the season progresses.
And I know that a lot of this conversation has been about week 1, but that's what we have to go off now. And on that note, to start the season with such a thrilling victory, and it caused your team to fight back, to be down by double digits, does that help you as a team say, hey, when we get in these challenges in the future, especially entering a tougher district this year, we know we might go down in games, but we have confidence that we can come back in ball games as well?
Yeah, we tell our kids, it's play by play. Don't worry about the scoreboard and just execute to a high level on the play in front of you. And then once that play's over, execute on the next one. And so, sometimes during the course of the game, you can't be scoreboard watching. You just got to play your game and make sure that you're doing your job to a high level. And then at the end of the game, it'll all work out. But we spend a lot of time during the week talking about scenarios, being down, being up, what down and distance. And so, ultimately games are won Monday through Thursday, and we do that mental work and preparation work, making sure our kids go over every scenario and prepared for anything that may happen on Friday night.
For you as well, did anybody stick out or stand out to you that maybe you haven't seen them play varsity football before last week that kind of would say, hey, that's a standout performer, that's a little bit of a surprise to us and our coaching staff?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of veterans coming back. And so, for us, it was good seeing our offensive line do a tremendous job. Our D-line is young. We do have Evan and Logan back. But, Logan's playing in a different position. And so really and truly there's 3 guys on the D-line that are kind of playing new or being starters. And I thought they've gotten better. They're not where we need them to be, but they're progressing in the right direction. And for those guys to come in and do it. And then, a couple of unsung heroes in the secondary, big challenge for them. Chase Gibson came in at corner. We had a couple of injuries. We moved some other pieces around, and D'Adrian Gaines had to come in and play safety for us. And those guys did a tremendous job, with the veteran leadership of Bryson Burgess and Jaden Hall. But those 4 guys, especially those 2 guys that hadn't gotten a lot of Friday night experience, especially on that side in that environment against those receivers, I thought they stepped up in a big way.
It's surprising to me that we've gone through this interview and we referenced last week a lot, and I haven't brought up a guy that went 8 for 200 and had a score and set up the game-winning field goal as well. What can you say about number 8, Braden Blewett?
I mean, he's just a playmaker. I mean, he's going to get his every week. He's going to get, 8 to 10 catches and go for anywhere 150 to 200 with 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's just his normal stat line. That's, but and everybody in the stadium knows it. But he just has a way of using his body and space, and he's a precision route runner and good player that he can find spaces to catch the football. Or when he's challenged, he'll go up and get it like he did right before half. Just a very special player, and we're for sure glad he's on our team.
Final thing, Coach, before you get ready for kickoff, what do you think the biggest key to victory tonight is for the Panthers?
Execute to a high level. I want to see the biggest gain of improvement from our team from week 1 to week 2. We had a couple false start penalties. We had a couple holding penalties, a couple of sportsmanlike penalties that we shouldn't have had. And so I want to clean that up and play a good, clean slate of football. I want to be hitting on all cylinders. We're starting to get some missing pieces back, which I want to see how they perform. But, more importantly, it's go out there and make sure that we're progressing and we're building up to our best football ahead of the district slate.
Well, excited for the road test tonight. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
That's head football coach Jerry Edwards joining us on the pregame show. Glad you are joining us here. It's Panther Friday night here on Tradio. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil. Big football game set to happen in a matter of moments, and you heard from head coach Jerry Edwards. He talked all about it, and he said execute to a high level. What does that mean, Shannon?
That means these guys are got to be hitting on all cylinders tonight. They want to make sure that what they practice this week, that they come out and they execute it from the first play. And so if they're hitting on all cylinders, I believe he feels good about their chances to win this game.
And they'll try to fire on all cylinders, like you said, here tonight, and hopefully a couple of new pieces. Time shall tell for Colleyville perhaps back in the mix this evening. And again, tuned in right now for Colleyville Heritage Football. It's their first road test of the season as they travel to Richland here in week 2, a Richland football team that had a lot of success a season ago, and the Panthers are facing a Richland defense that held Haltom to 17 points in week 1. Meanwhile, it was a big Colleyville comeback over Red Oak. They outscored the Hawks 13-0 in the fourth quarter, and that propelled them to victory in week 1. They'll try to follow up that performance as they're set to go out on the field, and the coin toss about to happen here right now with the captains, Bryson Burgess, along with Braden Blewett out on the football field. Dax Hebeson, one of the 2, he and Burgess, who blocked kicks last week, number 20 and number 12, 2 big-time defenders. And then also Luke Graves, all-district tight end who did not play last week, and maybe we get to see him in action here tonight as they're getting ready to do the coin toss, and we'll get a better idea of how this game will start. They flip the coin. Roderick Roberts alongside Sean Wright Brandon Marino and Deion Jones, the 4 captains for the Royals. One man we'll hear from a lot tonight, number 1, Mike Turner. That's the 4-star running back. So the toss is concluded. And Richland, they defer to the second half, and for the second consecutive week, Bodie Weaver and company will start with the football to start this game. So right out of the gate, we'll get to see what was a Colleyville Heritage offense that looked pretty sharp, put some good points on the board, and they'll try to do it tonight against a Richland defense that, again, only surrendered 17 points last week. And a lot of the talk for this Richland offense, we'll see them on the second series, is about Turner, the big-time senior running back and the 4-star pledge to Baylor. The second straight week they're having to face a 4-star Baylor commit at the skill position. Last week a wideout, today a running back. But head coach Jerry Edwards said they've got talent all around the field. A receiver committed to Memphis. Quarterback is the coach's son, and Drew Cates, who has provided a lot of offense the last few seasons for this program. He said, hey, Turner gets the headlines, but there's other guys you got to worry about on this offense as well, and we'll see how they approach that. But first, we get to see the Panthers offense, Shannon.
I am super excited. Listen, you got a high-powered offense versus a high-powered defense, and they both have weapons on both sides of the ball, so I cannot wait here for kickoff in the next 3 minutes. It's a super excited, clear sky Friday night, and I'm excited.
We'd love to shout out the great sponsors. Our pregame show sponsor, Corey Kessler Mortgage. And in a moment, we'll bring you the starting lineups as well. Classic Chevy, the sponsor for that. First quarter brought to you as well by IFC Roofing. Glad you're joining us here tonight. The Panthers set to run out onto the field. We'll take a quick timeout, and the kick on the other side. You're watching Panther Friday Night here on Tradio.
Number 1 Chevy dealer in the world. You have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Just can't get enough.
Panther Friday Night on Tradio. The Colleyville Heritage Panthers travel to face off against the Richland Royals here tonight in North Richland Hills, Texas. About 84 degrees and partly cloudy, and a nice night for football. Rain was coming down in the area just about 90 minutes ago, but we're all ready to go. Everything is cleared up, and it should be a fantastic night for football here this evening.
Safe from harm and injury. In your name, we pray. Amen.
Before we get tonight's festivities underway,
we ask that you please remain standing. We direct your
Public
attention
address announcer
to the east end zone for the presentation of tonight's colors. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's colors are brought to us by the Richland High School
colors.
Junior ROTC Color Battalion. Carrying the American flag, Cadet Captain Dylan Bogus. Carrying the Texas flag, Cadet Captain Maddox Perkins. At right guard, Cadet Captain Caden Kirkwood. And at left guard, Cadet Major Ashley Saldana. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's national anthem will be performed by the Royal Airs and Royal Singers, the chorale from Richland High School, and the varsity treble and tenor bass choirs from North Richland and Northridge Middle School, under direction of Andrew Steffen, Lorelei Taylor, Shelby Roberts, Leslie Dietrich, and Monica Cook. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Well, we're all ready for some football here tonight. Anthem is done and kickoff in just a couple moments. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil. Hunter Paris alongside us as well, our technical director here tonight. So the Panthers will start on offense. Great presentation, solid quality crowd in attendance as well here this evening as the Panthers and the Royals are set to battle it out on the gridiron. Week number 2. Great to be back into a rhythm for football season, Shannon.
Yes, it is. And I'm excited for this game, second week. And beautiful night to play football, especially high school football here in Birdsville Stadium, man. Glad to be here with you, Will.
Looking forward to a fantastic evening of football as Colleyville and Richland, two teams that passed the first test in week 1, as Richland defeats Haltom. Colleyville tops Red Oak, and a pair of 1-0 teams. One of them trying to move to 2-0 here tonight. And it will be Colleyville set to return the opening kick. Beck Spivey, the 5'11 sophomore kicker, set to boot this one deep. So the kick is off, and it is through the end zone. Back deep to return for Colleyville was Deidre Gaines, but that'll put Colleyville after the touchback on the 25-yard line where the offense will set up. So Richland defers. They want to put the defense out on the field first.
That's saying something. You know, they had a big week last week. They're saying, hey, we don't need the ball right now. We're going to come out, stop you guys right out of the gate and give our offense the ball. But we shall see about that because Mr. Weaver and Mr. Blewett finished on high notes last week. So here we go.
So Bodie Weaver and company out on the football field now. An opening play from scrimmage here in week number 2. A beautiful night for football about to begin. It's a fake and a toss to the outside.
Great pursuit by the defense.
And the first look, they go out to Samir Johnson, the sophomore wide receiver. He had a catch last week, one ball for 11 yards, but picks up about 4 on that quick look to the sophomore on the outside. He nearly had that fantastic touchdown, but it was ruled incomplete a week ago. And speaking with the Colleyville staff this week, they said, hey, we thought that one might have been a catch.
Well, they're definitely going to get the ball in all their guys' hands. They have so many weapons around on the field on the offensive side of the ball. So, you know, last week I believe Weaver and Blewett did their thing, but these other guys can play as well. So look for Johnson to have a big night tonight, and some of the other guys around him.
So after the first play, which was a 4-yard gain, miniature stoppage. Had that last week with the chains before we could get going, but not sure what the issue is here tonight. I believe it is the chains again, as you see both officials tending to the sticks, trying to get it untangled.
Same thing that happened last week around the same time of the game on the same side of the field.
Trying to keep it consistent. Routines. For this Panthers offense, led by Bodie Weaver, the captain. He went 15 of 27 in week 1 for 263 yards. And it was a lot of big plays. About 20 yards on average on some of his big completions. Had that big 68-yard hookup, and he ran the ball 16 times as well. Coach Edwards said, hey, we probably want him to take a few less hits. We want him to last all year long, but we love his competitive nature, kind of like what they had with Luke Ulrich a season ago. So 2nd and 6, and it will be Abram, who has a big-time hole. Look at the man go. Abram toward the house for 6. And on the second play of the game, Colleyville puts it in for 6. A big touchdown from Bryce Abram.
And right there on this play, as I'm looking at the defense, they're running like a 3-3 stack. And first thing that comes to mind is they're going to get gashed by the running back with that because everybody's in the secondary. And as you saw there on the left side of the line, he just hit his gas and was gone.
There is a penalty marker down on the field. This one may be coming back. It was down on the 30-yard line when it looked like Abram broke one off for about 70 yards. That one seems to be coming back and maybe putting Colleyville behind the sticks. Wow. 71-yard rush. Abram, tons of space, and the running back room was probably the one thing coming in. You thought Colleyville offensively could maybe improve. They had Jared Wiley, who showcased speed, Colin Bennett, and Bryce Abram starting out last week. He had a solid day on the ground, 3 rushes for 28 yards, and right there you thought he had 70, but instead looks like a holding call will back up Colleyville. Weaver steps up in the pocket, tries to throw it out to Blewett, but his outstretched arm not able to haul that one in. Back in coverage was Zayd Walker, the defensive back.
This is going to be interesting from the offensive defensive perspective. With that 3-3 front, they won't be able to get too much pressure on the quarterback, so it's going to be interesting to see how this happens.
So 3rd down and 16 yards to go. Pressure does come. Weaver escapes the pocket, and he tumbles down. Just trying to pick up some yards, but a holding call on the second play. Looked like it was a big-time Colleyville 71-yard touchdown. Instead, they'll end up punting on 4th and 12.
Well, as you mentioned early in the game, you know, as Coach says, hitting on all cylinders. Well, guys, when you got a touchdown that's getting called back, that's not hitting on all cylinders. So I guess they will definitely talk about that on the sidelines.
Zuckert back to punt. This one drops around the 45-yard line, and it will roll to about the 36. Ryan Zuckert, who had a big punt last week that pinned Red Oak deep inside the 20, tries to flip the field, and it will be quality field position for Richland on their opening possession. They'll start at the 36-yard line, and the senior coach's son, Drew Cates, comes out there. Jed Cates in his 13th season leading the Royals of Richland. As it's a 3-and-out on the opening drive for the Panthers. And the initial attempt, it will be to Turner. He's wrestled down, just a gain of a yard on the play. Darian Lloyd comes in to make the stop after Turner broke one tackle. He only gains a yard, 2nd and 9 upcoming.
That's a great stop by the linebackers. They're filling those holes, and I like this matchup a little better. Now you see this is a 4-2-5 versus the other 3-3 stack. This defense is a little bit more suitable for this type of offense. Look at those linebackers feel. Turner
again, he runs right into the tandem. Matthew Udemba and Darian Lloyd there once again. Talk about Lloyd, a returning linebacker on this team, and they are able to combo for the tackle. So 2 carries for Turner, and he's only able to amount 2 yards out of it, 3rd and 8. And the flag is thrown. Jumping offside on that play was Nehemiah Oleiwola, the junior defensive lineman, and the flag was thrown. That'll be offside. That'll set up a 3rd and 3.
These guys got to hold their water a little bit. They're not playing as they're starting kind of the way they did last week, and I know their coach is probably not excited about that, but they got to calm down and get their heads in the ball game. 2 costly penalties there.
And the 3-and-out was caused by a penalty, and now a penalty will make what was a 3rd and 8, 3rd and short. Just 3 yards to go on this 3rd down from the 43. Cates claps his hands, looks toward the sideline. He went 9 of 13 last week, had 132 yards and a couple of scores. Also ran for 74, but he gives this one to Turner, who puts his head down, runs right up the gut, and pounds it away in between the tackles for a 1st down.
Yeah, when you have a running back like that and you have short yardage, they're going to give that guy the ball. So defense got to get ready and plug those holes by the linebackers.
Fresh set of downs for the Royals, and here's Cates using his legs, and Lloyd able to get him down, but not before it's a pickup of about 8 yards on the 1st down run, and that's what Cates does, a guy who has an offer from Arkansas State, 74 yards on the ground. Last year, the district MVP was huge a season ago, accounting for 42 touchdowns and 10 of them on the ground.
Yeah, he's a high percentage guy. You have to be accountable for that guy. He's high percentage in his throwing and his running.
And he looks outside to Deion Jones II. The senior makes the 1st down catch, and the Royals are moving all the way up to the 35-yard line in Colleyville territory. Deion Jones with the reception right there.
That's a 1st down for the Royals.
You got the Royals moving on offense. And that's, again, they look outside, and the catch is complete. Xavier Johnson who hauls that in.
Look like the offense is trying to nickel and dime their way down the field. The defense has got to be patient and wait for the big play and capitalize on it.
That's Jaden Hall. One-on-one coverage on Xavier Johnson. A matchup to watch tonight. They go to Johnson again, but Cates not able to hook up with him. Just the matchup we were talking about. Xavier Johnson, the commit to Memphis, going up against Jaden Hall, who did more than hold his own against Red Oak's top flight wideouts, and he only allowed 20 yards last week and no touchdowns either. A returner for Colleyville, and he was their defensive player of the week last week. Turner with the carry right up the gut. Evan Nayati on the initial tackle. Nayeta there, big-time one-man wrecking crew in the middle, but that's going to be enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, defense playing pretty solid up front, but it's just kind of hard. You have a great running back and you're giving him short yardage, so they're stopping him within the 2-3 range, but we need some tackles for loss on that side of the ball.
So first down from the 25. They take a shot toward the end zone, and it's complete. A fantastic grab by Xavier Johnson. It bobbled for a moment, but he hauled it in, and that is a touchdown, but a flag on the play. It looks like this one could be coming back as well. Just what happened to the Panthers on their second play from scrimmage, and that may erase what looked like a 25-yard touchdown.
Well, it was interesting. These guys are one-on-one, and the cornerback actually pushed him in the back, which caused his momentum to go forward, and he made the catch. Wow, two good plays, but he actually helped the guy catch the ball.
Xavier Johnson, he caught a 44-yard touchdown last week. He had 7 sophomores in his junior and sophomore seasons. He's been consistent the last few years, and a 3-star wideout for them on the outside at the top of the screen. But on 1st and 15, it'll be a pass that is complete, breaking some tackles up to the 20-yard line. Will set up a second and about 5 yards to go. They gave it to Johnson again, this time running over the middle.
The defense had him. If they will wrap up, they had him for a loss. They've got to get to the ball like they did, but they must wrap up the ball so he doesn't get positive yards on that play like he did.
That brings up second down for the Royals.
So that'll bring up second and about 6 after Johnson makes the catch. He comes off. Cates gets the snap, throws it to the outside, and the tackle is made there by Colleyville's Hayden West as he's able to bring down Mike Turner, the senior standout running back. That'll set up a 3rd and 1.
Great pressure by the defense. They sent the linebacker blitz to put some pressure on the quarterback, so he had to get it out quick. Great play.
3rd and a yard to go. They give it to Turner once again, and he gets enough. Just squeezes through the small hole. And that's going to set up this quick-paced Richland offense for a 1st and 10. They'll give it back to Turner. He stiff-arms a man. He puts Lloyd down to the turf and goes into the end zone. An 11-yard touchdown run for Mike Turner after a pair of scores last week. He finds himself into the end zone with just a man to beat. He puts the stiff arm on to break a tackle and run into the end zone for 6.
Mr. Lloyd had him at a good angle. He did everything he was supposed to do. He just wasn't expecting that stiff arm that got him into the end zone. What a play by the running back, but I'm telling you now, man, that stiff arm is something you're going to have to watch for the rest of the game.
With over 1,600 yards last season, that was the 3rd most in the area in 5A. And he ran for 22 touchdowns a season ago. Had a pair of scores last week, and he puts it into the end zone on the first drive for the Royals here this week. Beck Spivey's able to knock through the extra point, and the Royals lead 7-0. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. We'll be right back.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Hey, just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Hey, start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Hey, just can't get enough.
11-yard touchdown run. It's Burgess on the ensuing kickoff who brings it about to the 19-yard line, where Colleyville will start on offense. Mike Turner, there's a flag on the play about the 43-yard line. Not sure if we're going to have a re-kick or if it will be assessed on the kickoff, but Colleyville back on offense. Mike Turner, man who has created a lot of headlines. Well, he was very busy on that initial drive, and he puts it into the end zone from 11 yards out. The stiff arm is what caught your eye, Shannon.
Yeah, it took me back to when I played at TCU with LaDainian Tomlinson. That was his bread and butter stiff arm, which made him, freed him to get more yards, but most of all, score a lot more touchdowns.
So Bennett gets the carry. His first touch of the night's a good one as he charges ahead to the 29-yard line. So pickup of 5 yards. As Colleyville trying to establish it on the ground. 7-0 score. As Weaver hands the rock off once again to Colin Bennett, and this time he picks up a few more yards to set up 3rd and short.
Well, they're trying to set the tone, looks like. I mean, they're running the ball. They're gashing them for the most part. They just have to stop shooting themselves in the foot, and they'll be successful at picking up more first downs.
So 3rd and about 3 yards to go. Second possession for Colleyville on offense. And Weaver to the outside. He throws it to Blewett. Puts a spin move on and gets to about the 50-yard line. Braden Blewett, the ball's in his hands. Good things happen, and Colleyville gets to midfield.
Well, he's just doing what he did from last week. You get the ball to Blewett, some things are going to happen, and most likely they're going to be positive for you. So get the ball to Mr. Blewett if you want some success tonight.
Richland put together a 12-play drive that started at the 36-yard line, capped it off with a score. Here's Colin Bennett, who gets the football to the 44-yard line. Pickup of about 3 yards on the play. And now Bryce Abraham will come back into the backfield. A trio in the backfield along with Jared Wiley. Those three and the primary candidates so far this season for Colleyville to run the ball. And it's the senior back there. He'll get a nice hole through the left side, and he gets upended around the 35-yard line. What a hole that was created. Big left tackle up front. Parker Leatherwood with the block to set up that big-time run.
That was an awesome block by Mr. Parker. You can see him pulling like a freight train and the running back following right up behind his tail. And then all he has to do is make one block, and the running back cuts off of it. What a great run and play. First down.
So Colleyville has first down and 10 from the 34. Abraham with the run. He has nowhere to go. Play is read well, and the stop is made by Richland. Roberts coming in to make the stop.
Richland is set up pretty good up front. Those are some big boys up there, and when you run a 3-3 stack, that lets me know that your front three are some guys who can take up space. So that's going to be interesting to see what kind of shape they're in throughout the game. And right now, Panthers seems to be moving the ball on pretty well.
Weaver, he's going to keep it himself. He tries to get to the outside, and he's cut down. Sean Wright, the senior DB, comes in to cut down Bodie Weaver. And that'll set up 3rd and long, 9 yards to go for Colleyville.
Yeah, if he don't make that play, Mr. Weaver is still running. A great play by the defender.
Weaver drops back. He steps up. He throws it looking for Braden Blewett. And that's incomplete. 2 in the coverage right there. Jalen Gordon following Blewett closely, and that'll be 4th and 8 from the 32-yard line.
Well, I know it looked like he made a bad throw. He didn't. He looked up and saw there were 2 people on Mr. Blewett, so he threw it down in the dirt. So it was a good play by the quarterback, not getting his receiver killed.
And the Panthers going to push the envelope from this spot of the field, 4th and 8 from the 32. They're going to go for it. Weaver with the snap. Quality protection. He takes a shot, looking toward the end zone, and Samir Johnson unable to haul that one in. Great play made in the secondary. And Richland will take over on downs. Coming in to make that play, Maximus Wiley. He was in the one-on-one coverage on Johnson, and it's incomplete. Turnover on downs.
That was just a good, solid one-on-one matchup at the end of the day. And he threw it up there betting on his men to come down with it, but Mr. Wiley said, not today, sir.
So Richland will take over on offense. 1st and 10 for them. And Cates with a design run, and he'll just have to hit the carpet as Colleyville had good pursuit. Matthew Udemba comes in to make the stop.
Great play by Udemba. That's a great way to start the series. These guys are flying to the football. They just got to contain this quarterback, and they'll be successful.
2nd down and about 10 yards to go. Maybe a loss of a half yard on that initial play. Cates gets outside again, and he tries to cut up and eventually goes down as Dax Hebeson finishes off the tackle that was started by the middle linebacker, Madden Williams, and Hebeson was able to wrap him up and throw him down to set up 3rd and 6.
That brings up 3rd down for Richland.
Third and 6, less than 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Pressure comes. Udemba gets in there, and Kate somehow gets rid of it and makes the connection there to Aaron Brooks, and it'll move the chains. What an effort from the quarterback, Drew Cates, to get out of the pressure. It looked like Udemba had him in the backfield.
Udemba did have him, but there was an even better play by the quarterback to get it out. I thought that was a sack, but he found a way to get the ball out of his hands. Wow, what a play.
Richland, one thing you notice right away, they want to go quick. Not too much time in between the plays, and right there they get called for a false start. Penalty marker comes down. They try to give it to Turner, running in between the tackles. 6 foot, 209, big body back. Again, 4-star running back, rated as the 11th best running back in the country by some national publications. And they want to give it to him, and they want to go right up the gut with him, but they're going to go backwards after that false start.
Well, I get one to go quick, but they must settle down so they don't get offside, jump off sides. Same thing again with the receiver. They've got to slow down and focus up, otherwise it's going to continue to cost them with the penalties.
False start once again. And if you...
That's the thing with rushing. When you're trying to rush and you're getting a little winded, this is 2nd week of football, so they're not totally in shape. They're not in football shape per se, so you got to sometimes calm down. If it works, but most times it'll cost you like it just did, 2 plays in a row.
And again, is that 3 plays in a row? It is. This is bringing back memories from last night. Not sure if you were watching NFL opener, but on the opening drive for the Ravens, they kept getting called for the linemen not being lined up properly on the line of scrimmage. The flag kept flying. 3 consecutive false start penalties against Richland right now, and that'll back them up for a 1st and 20.
Wow.
1st and 25, check that. And here they go. Cates tries to run up the middle, and he gets stopped up as a trio of Panthers defenders come in to make the tackle. But putting a team in 1st and 25 and you put them there off their mistakes, that's an opportunity for your defense to get off the field. We'll see if they can do it. 2nd and 21 upcoming after the 4-yard gain on the ground from the quarterback.
And from a defensive standpoint, they're excited. Those guys are going to fight to the football, knowing that it's 2nd and forever. All they have to do is get to the ball, make a play, and not allow for the deep ball to happen.
Well, that'll conclude the opening quarter of action.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the
We will be right back. 7-0 lead, Royals on top. Second quarter coming up next. It's Panther Friday night on radio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplex.headshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Back to action here. Colleyville Heritage and Richland here in the second week of the season. We move along to the second quarter. Alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. Colleyville's had the football a couple of times. For opening drive, it was what we thought was a 70-yard touchdown rush called back because of a holding call. They end up punting, then they turn it over on downs on their second drive. This is the second drive for Richland, and on 3rd and 20, they take a deep shot down the field, and it's hauled in. A huge gain for Richland. They move into Colleyville territory. Deion Jones with a big-time play.
Yeah, they were in a 4-2 man with a zone look, and the safety and the cornerback didn't have their guy. They wasn't close enough. They let them run right in the zone opening, and the quarterback hit them on the money. They've got to close that down.
So Richland gets all the way up to the 25-yard line. And again, they go right back to the ground game after taking a deep shot downfield. And mind you, it was a necessary deep shot downfield on 3rd and 20. They're able to convert with Deion Jones coming through.
You're talking about what makes a defensive coordinator loses his hair, or pull out his hair, rather, is when you know it's 3rd and forever and you know what they've got to do, and they're going to go deep with the ball and they split you.
Cates gets the snap. Pressure comes. He throws it, and it's caught there by the back Turner, able to make the catch. He did have one catch last week. There is a marker down on the field on the near side, right around the 20-yard line. So it was an offsides called against Colleyville. They decline it, or Richland declines the offsides call, and it will set up Richland for a 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line where they're set up.
Mr. Logan from up here looks like he's been offsides all night. Just a matter of time they're going to get him on that one. He needs to back up just a little bit.
Cates throws a fastball over the middle again, looking for Mike Turner. Again, he only had one catch last week. They look for him on back-to-back plays, and somebody who really can dominate on the ground, but also is able to catch balls out of the backfield. Incomplete right there, 2nd and 10.
Well, here's where the defense needs to step up in the red zone and make a big play, as they did a couple plays last week. This is their bread and butter in the red zone. They're pretty good.
Cates takes it himself. Initial hit by Dax Hebeson, only a couple yards gained on the play as Cates keeps it himself, and Evan Ayeta is able to come up and make the stop. He was so big last week in creating pressure primarily in the second half on the quarterback duo of Red Oak, and they're going to ask a lot of the same tonight out of big number 99 up front.
He did have a massive game last week, and you're right. They're going to ask him to do that and more this week, and hopefully his teammates will help him out a little bit.
So Cates lined up in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. And a flag is called. Couple markers come down. Movement before the snap.
A lot of flags this half already.
And it's a delay of game. And that one, instead of 3rd down and 7 yards to go, you back up behind the sticks. Make it a 3rd and 12. Here in the second quarter. The Royals deferred to start the game. Colleyville started with the football. Richland scored on their first possession. This is their second possession, 3rd and 12. Cates tries to bounce to the outside, tries to turn the corner up the field, and he gets stopped short. Jaden Hall comes in with a big-time tackle using the sideline to his advantage, and he forces Cates out of bounds. That'll set up a 4th down and field goal try here for Richland.
Great play by Mr. Lloyd. He actually came up. He missed the tackle, but what he did do is hit the quarterback enough to slow down his momentum to allow the rest of his team to get there to make the tackle.
So Richland wants to take a timeout. They have 4th and 9 here from the 13-yard line. You would suspect they try to go up by a couple scores here and convert what would be a very short field goal try. Just about a 30-yarder from here. But they take a timeout, and they want to talk about it. Maybe other things in the works. But the kicker in Beck Spivey out there.
Yeah, even though they should never take points off the board, I would definitely take this because this Panther defense, this offense, they're going to get it together pretty soon, and you want to make sure you're scoring now because there are too many mistakes right now by the Panthers defense, but they're going to get it together.
So a try from the 30-yard line here for Beck Spivey, looking to put Richland up by 10 points. The kick is up, and it is no good, wide right. And it's the Royals who are unable to put points on the board on their second drive. So a break for Colleyville, a penalty-ridden drive, and they stall it out at the 13-yard line.
Again, they give up the big play. The defense gets in the red zone. They hold them to 3-point attempt, and they miss it. So great play by the defense. They give up no points on that drive. Now the offense has got to go down and get a score before halftime, tie this ball game up.
Plenty of time to do it. 8:41 on the clock. Bodie Weaver and company go out there. Colin Bennett, the running back. That's a handoff to Bennett. Tries to run on the strong side, looking for that lead block from Tucker Perryman, and no gain on the play. Wright comes in to make the stop. Wendler, the tight end, was in on that play, comes off. The receivers now for Colleyville, Nick Wankambi along with Samir Johnson, Connor Supankasi, and Braden Blewett, 2 split to either side. And it will be another tote of the rock for Colin Bennett. Picks up a few more yards. So on 1st and 2nd down, the Panthers have committed to the run here in the first half.
The Panthers must have saw something on film this week that they like that tells them we can run against these guys. So that's what they're doing. They're moving the ball slowly but surely. But at some point, you're going to have to open this thing out and give Blewett some more touches.
3rd and 6. They may be looking for number 8 here. Weaver throws it, and it's intercepted. Ball picked off there by Jalen Gordon, and he'll run into the end zone. A 30-yard pick six, and Richland on 3rd and 6 comes through with an interception turned into a touchdown. for the junior DB Jalen Gordon, who picks off Bodie Weaver the second consecutive week. He throws a pick six, and Richland will try to go up 14-0 pending the extra point.
Looks like the cornerback knew exactly where the ball was going because all he did was sit there and wait on the ball, and he made a great break on the ball to pick it off. Looked like they were in some type of banjo where he passed off his man to the other guy, and he made a heck of a break on the ball. I know Mr. Weaver wish he had that one back.
So to try the extra point, Beck Spivey, after missing the 30-yard field goal, he splits the uprights on the extra point try. And the Royals lead 14-0, 7:26 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. You're watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Panther Friday Night on Tradio. Back with you here in North Richland Hills, Texas, alongside Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly. Bodie Weaver looking to make a play on 3rd and 6. Instead, the play was made by Jalen Gordon, the 5'9", 150-pound junior defensive back. He had 7 tackles last week, and he has an offer to play at the next level at SMU, a highly touted defensive player for this bunch, and just reads the route, reads Bodie Weaver's eyes, gets the interception, runs it back 30 yards for a touchdown. And we'll see how Bodie Weaver can respond after throwing the pick six. Mind you, last week he certainly had a positive response to that mistake.
Guys, these Panthers have been here before, and I guarantee you they're not going to let this bother them one bit. They're going to come back out, and they're going to go right back down the field and handle the business.
And on the return, it gets to about the 25-yard line from Bryson Burgess. We'll see how Colleyville can respond. Mentioned, have been here before. Last week they were down by 12 heading into halftime. Pretty similar two-score deficit they face right now, down 14-0 with 7:23 left in this second quarter.
It's definitely blue at time. You got to get this guy the ball. As we said, every time we said that last week, it seemed like he picked up a first or a touchdown. It's not, this is not factual. This is just factual. You got to give him the ball.
1st and 10 from the 25. They look to get it to Bennett, and he makes a nice turn up the field.
Good
and
play.
Colin Bennett with the first down reception out of the backfield, still trying to get the running backs involved. And he scoots to the outside to pick up a gain of 12.
Great play. They just swung the ball out to the left side of the football field and said, hey, we're going to get you the ball. I get that Mr. Blewett probably double teamed right now, and that's what he don't want to throw in the traffic, but at some point you got to take a shot.
1st and 10. They're going to run this one for a gain of 2 yards. Flag on the play comes in after the fact. So Colleyville, 4th drive for them. First drive was a 3-and-out. After they thought they had a touchdown on the second play, it was called back. Then they had to punt. Then their second drive stalled out around the 30-yard line. Third drive resulted in a pick six. And now for the 4th time with the football, Bodie Weaver, the first time we see him scoot out of the pocket to pick up positive yards tonight. And he moves it across the 45-yard line.
He read blitz on that play. The linebackers they blitzed, and the running back did a great job of picking up the Mike linebacker, which allowed Weaver to pick up some positive yards there.
So 3rd down and 1. Football spotted at the 46-yard line. A lot of attention at the bottom of your screen to Braden Blewett. They're They're going to rush this one to try to just move the chains, and they indeed get right to the line to gain with the push up front, just trying to barrel his way forward for the first down was Colin Bennett, and he gets the fresh set for the Panthers offense. Right around midfield for a 1st and 10. Pressure comes on Weaver. He'll run up the field, and he turns and twists his way for another positive gain. A couple of nice plays surging ahead for Braden Blewett, or for Bodie Weaver on this drive, using his legs, looking for Braden Blewett, hopefully, like you mentioned, though.
Yep, and there's some holes in this defense right now because they're running a zone. And so when the guys get spread out, if Mr. Weaver wants to run with his quick feet, and he can pick up some positive yards, and also if he can hit Mr. Weaver or any of the receivers, Blewett, in the gaps, he'll be picking up some positive yards on those plays.
Abraham the first to touch it on this carry on 2nd and about 4 yards to go. That'll set up a 3rd and short here for Colleyville. They are going on the ground much more than they did to start the game last week, but with a 14-0 deficit, with about 5 left in the second quarter, you wonder how much that'll change. 3rd and 3 here for Colleyville. They go to the air here, look to the outside, and it's incomplete. Intended target was Nick Wankambi, but it's not able to be a hookup on that occasion, looking toward the sideline for the senior wideout. So that is 4th and 3 now. We'll see what Colleyville will do. 8 seconds to get the play off, and they're looking toward the sideline. Now a man comes in motion, 2 seconds to get the play off, and they'll call a timeout.
Yeah, it looked like they were 100% confident in what they wanted to run on that play. And another thing I'm not understanding, I get what you're trying to do, but with the run game, and I'll say it again, Mr. Blewett has run kind of free a couple plays there. You've got to try to find a way to get him the ball, or at least throw it in his direction and potentially picking up a first down, a touchdown, or a pass interference. That's the type of player he is, so you've got to find a way to get him more touches.
Somebody that has shown from last season, the 20 touchdowns he put on the board, a lot rides on this offense, trying to get others involved to start this game primarily on the ground. But with a 4th and 3, you understand the timeout because it's a massive play. You stall out again on a turnover on downs, assuming the envelope will be pushed here and going for it on 4th and 3 around midfield. You don't get the football. You give it back to the Royals down by 2 scores with the fact that they get the ball to start the second half as well. So a really big play upcoming for Colleyville in this football game. Wankambi runs out there. 3 receivers to the near side. Pressure comes on Weaver. He loses the football, and it's picked up by Richland. Scooping up the football for the Royals is Brandon Marino, the senior, on 4th down and 3. Bodie Weaver tried to make a play, but the football was popped out, and Richland will take over. Another turnover for Colleyville. They had the pick 6. And now a lost fumble on a 4th and 3 try.
The pressure came, and I wish on film when he sees this, he had Mr. Johnson run up the field wide open. So just a missed opportunity there for the offense.
They go back to Turner. He tries to run against the grain, breaks a tackle on the near side of the field, and now cuts it to the outside for a pickup of about 10 yards when it looked like it was TFL time. Instead, Turner breaks another tackle. That's what he's done all night long. If you're just joining us, it was a highlight reel stiff arm that he had from 11 yards out for a touchdown on the opening drive for the Royals. Right there, another elusive run for the star running back in the backfield.
Yeah, Mr. Turner just showed you why he's a 4-star running back. That was one heck of a play because he was stopped, and he made something out of nothing.
Design run for Cates. He tries to turn it up the field, and Madden Williams is there to make the stop, a pickup of about 4 yards. With 4.5 minutes to go in this second quarter, Colleyville facing a 2-score deficit, and their defense has been out on the field a lot in this first half.
Man, I love those Colleyville linebackers. Those guys know how to put something on you once they get to the ball, and they love to fill the holes. They're just going to need a little bit more help from their guys up front.
Out to the outside and up front, right on cue, it is Matthew Udemba who comes up to swat that attempted pass down from Cates, and that'll set up 3rd and 7. Great play from Matthew Udemba.
Great play by Matthew. That's what I'm talking about. Those guys just need to come and make plays like that and help their team out by putting pressure on that quarterback.
Udemba comes up from the outside to set up this 3rd and 7. 4 and change left in the second quarter. Cates gets the snap, a 3-step drop, looks up the field. Now we'll tuck it and run, and he gets stopped around the 40-yard line, going to be short of the line to gain. Lloyd applied the initial hit to make the tackle, and that'll be 4th and short for Richland. They're going to go quick and go for it. And a whistle is called. Colleyville calls a timeout, knowing that this is a big play. So they have the opportunity, Shannon, to get the football back. 3:45 to go in the second quarter, 4th and 2. Richland wanted to go quick. You would have suspected it would have been, hey, let's give it off to Turner and see if he can pick up a couple yards. And more times than not tonight, it's been positive results for him touching the ball. 4th and 2, what do you do if you're Richland here?
So this is my thinking, because Mr. Turner has gotten the first, anything that's been short, 4th and short, 3rd and short, he's picked up those first downs. What a smart play by the defensive coordinator by calling timeout, because now you can put a blitz package together because you know they're going forward, and I would put everybody in the box. I would shut down the running back and contain the quarterback, and hopefully something breaks loose up the middle for a sack or a batted down pass.
So a big 4th down and 2. See Evan Nayetta out there trying to put the pressure on up front for this Colleyville defense. Jerry Edwards, head coach in his 2nd season, also the defensive coordinator, seeing what he can dial up here. So 4 down on the line on 4th and 2. Turner in the backfield.
They're coming.
They throw to the outside, and turning upfield, the completion is made, but a flag on the play. Deion Jones initially had the first down, but a penalty marker could change that. They gave it outside to Jones, and big penalty decision, or at least call, awaiting us here as they discuss.
Well, one thing I'll tell you is I knew that this was a blitz down, and they definitely did that to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, but it was a screen play, and now we just have to see what the flag's about.
And some more discussion here. Really big call awaiting. So going out for a pass that was covered up, that will make it 4th and 7. So a crucial penalty against Richland on that play.
Well, that's going to now put them in the punting position and give Mr. Weaver and his offense another chance to try to put some points on the board before halftime.
This second quarter is brought to you by Compass, proud supporter of Panther Friday Night here on Tradio. But a 4th and 7 after what was a crucial penalty will give Colleyville the football back. They'll have a chance to try to make it a one-score game at the break. No, it's a fake. Richland goes for it. They convert. It's caught by Johnson, and he's down inside the 5. A massive special teams play. Xavier Johnson hauls in the pass on big-time conversion on 4th and 7. And that changes things. Colleyville thinking they would get the football back. Instead, they find the 6'2", 170-pound Memphis commit for a big play on 4th down. The fake punt.
Well, you got to know if those guys want to go for it, 4th and short, that they had something up their sleeve. So you got to play safe in that position.
Now Turner takes it himself. And for the second time in the first half, he finds the end zone from 3 yards out this time. Second consecutive week, Mike Turner has a couple rushing touchdowns and a 20-0 lead for Richland here in the second quarter. And now the Royals are going to go for it. And they convert it on the QB keeper. So Drew Cates keeps it himself. And Richland sneaking up on a sneaky 4th down and 7. Fake punt to find Xavier Johnson. And then Mike Turner caps it off with a touchdown. Drew Cates adds on 2. And it's a 22-0 lead for Richland with 3:01 to go. In the second quarter, a big deficit the Panthers find themselves in the first half.
Well, I tell you this, they had no reason to really go for it, but that's telling me they just want to put this game away. They're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to stomp you guys while you're down, and we just want to put this game out of it before halftime. On the other side of the ball, those guys, you know, when Richland was going, Birdville was going for it, you know, 4th and short, and then they got the penalty. Well, that's letting you know they're going to have some. They're going to go to the sideline and have something up their sleeve. So you have to play safe in that position. So I know they're probably kicking themselves right now because of that. So they're going to have to play a little bit more stronger football to get back in this game.
So both of Colleyville's turnovers have turned into touchdowns for Richland. It was a pick 6 earlier in the game, and then Bodie Weaver loses the fumble, and that turns into a score. So when you talk about the turnover battle, Shannon, both times an interception that turned directly into 6, and then a lost fumble that turns into a touchdown as well. Those turnovers turning into scores. Colleyville will try to bounce back. They will get the football back, and hoping they can put points on the board before the intermission.
Yeah, when you got an offense that's that potent, you can't give them extra possessions. You know, they have a lot of talent on that side of the football, just as well as Colleyville. And so when you're giving them the ball and you're not taking away the ball, it's going to make for a long day.
So a short kick that is caught there by West, but quickly met. We check that's Deidrean Gaines who catches that kickoff. We'll put Colleyville back out on the field under 3 minutes to go. In this first half, alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. We're glad you're joining us on Panther Friday Night, presented by Tradio. Here in North Richland Hills, Texas, a beautiful night for football, but the Panthers finding themselves in a big hole, down 22-0. A pair of rushing touchdowns tonight for Mike Turner, the 4-star running back, and Colleyville starts this drive on the ground. They give it off to Bryce Abraham, and he picks up about 5 as the clock continues to tick here in the second quarter.
Any kind of points out of this thing with the last 2 minutes before the half will be big for your psyche, right? So I don't care if it's 3 points. They've got to come down here, and they've got to score, knowing that they're going to get the ball back. And so I wouldn't abandon the run right now. I would just pass just a little bit more because at some point you got to open this thing up.
Wendler comes in motion. They give it off to Abram, and he has a big-time hole. He tries to leap forward, loses the football, and it looks like he was down, but it did pop out. And he gets to the 40-yard line. They do indeed keep it in Colleyville's hands. That'll move the chains. First down on the 2nd and 6 carry. He's able to get good yardage, and Abram with a nice carry. 1st and 10 for Colleyville from the 40.
Great carry by the running back, and if me or you were running that ball, we came down our heads, we'd let go of that ball too. He's got to keep on the ground. Can't go airborne.
They go to Abram again. Another big burst of speed and a 10-yard gain. Bryce Abram showing some explosive runs toward the end of the first half here for Colleyville.
And this is why I say don't quite get rid of the one run, because the defense they look like they're a little tired as well. And so now you run, and you may be able to pop them over the top. But again, with 1:40 left on the clock, you got to pull away with some points out of this thing.
Bodie Weaver trying to direct Colleyville to a scoring drive to finish off the first half. Abram goes out in motion. Weaver going to take it himself. He slides down. And for Colleyville, they just have one timeout to play with a minute and change remaining. We'll see how they manage the time. Their timeout leading into halftime here. Just about a minute to go here.
Seem to be moving kind of slow for me.
Weaver. Connection to the outside, and for the second time tonight, they find Braden Blewett, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. No, indeed, clock keeps winding there, but Braden Blewett gets the connection. 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. Another carry and stopped up on the right side. That'll set up a 4th down. Colleyville's going to burn their final timeout with 30 seconds left in the half.
Well, I'm kind of shocked that the referees didn't give him the momentum out of bounds. It looked like he said he got hit out of bounds versus run out of bounds, which would keep the clock running. That was crucial with some time being off the clock there, or ticked off the clock. That doesn't benefit Colleyville whatsoever, so they're having to burn a timeout.
What do you do here? 4th and 1 from the 40-yard line, 30 seconds left and no timeouts. So you get a first down here. You do have some time to operate and get that field goal operation out, which did look great last week. They converted on 3 field goals. But obviously you're thinking, hey, can we take a shot and try to get 6? They had that big touchdown from about this distance of the field before halftime last week.
Yeah, this, to me, a first down. Get the first down, spike it real quick because you're in the middle of the field by a run, but he's in a pass set, so I'm thinking they're going to pass it down and try to pick it up through the air. Oh, there you go.
And Weaver takes it himself, and he's stopped short, going for the tush push on 4th and 1. That's how he scored a touchdown last week, but he is stopped up short, and Colleyville struggling on offense here in the first half, and another drive stalled out, and a turnover on downs. They've had 2 turnovers on downs, 2 turnovers where they've lost the football, and 1 3-and-out. A frustrating evening in first half thus far for Colleyville, and Richland will get the football back, likely just going to take a knee with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, that was going to shock me if he was going to throw the ball in that situation, but again, they did the right thing by trying to run it. Unfortunately, I would have gave it to my run. They didn't get it, but I would have gave it to my running back, who's been hot all night, and then tried to spike the ball after that.
Well, it is halftime. 22-0 the score. Richland leading at the break. The Panthers will go to the locker room, try to regroup, and come out stronger in the second half, facing a 22-point deficit here in week 2 on the road against the Royals of Richland. 22-0 the score at the break. We will take a timeout and be back with you in just a little bit. You're watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Hey, just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Hey, start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Hey, just can't get enough.
Pantera line officers are Junior Lieutenant London Murillo, Captain Reese Orr, First Lieutenant Samantha Hernandez, Junior Lieutenant Danny Heisey, and Senior Lieutenant Ava Hall. Pantera of the Week is sophomore Katie Floyd. Spirit Girl of the Week is Junior Anam Mahad. Pantera Heart of the Bill is Junior Danny Heisey. And the Pantera Teacher of the Week is Miss Gadi Halva. Pantera managers are Lauren Ballinger, Lindsay Shepard, and Sophia Scholl. Tonight's performance is a jazz kick routine to Taking It to the Streets. Panteras are under the direction of Karis Van and assisted by Haley Whitney. And Terrace would like to thank our title sponsors, 7 Therapy Company, and our premier sponsor, Chick-fil-A Love Field, David Martin Sun and Roofing, and Max Health, and our platinum sponsors, Airport Lighting Systems, Costa Vida, and Terra Costa. Please welcome to the field the Colleyville Heritage High School Marching Band, Freshman of the Week, Anna Troutman, Member of the Week, Allison Gray, and Section of the Week, the Clarinets. Colleyville Heritage Show is entitled Panther Pride and includes the Hay Song, China Grove, and the CHHS Fight Song. Colleyville High School is proud to present drum majors Madeline Shepard, Tammy Bott, Caleb Taylor, Elizabeth Troutman, and the Colleyville Heritage Panther Band. the Colleyville Heritage High School Panther Band. The Panther Band is under the direction of William Redd. Assistant directors include Nick Burdett, Jack Seller, Carson Beer, and Dr. Martin Godoy. The Panther Band would like to thank their corporate sponsor, Beach Store Barbecue, Lincoln Bottom Insurance Financial Services, and Fam Harrison Law Firm. Thank you to our sponsors, community, and administration for your continued support. Once again, let's hear it for the Colleyville Heritage High School Panther Marching Band and the varsity Panthers dance team. And let's hear it. Let's go, Panthers!
For your halftime entertainment, please welcome the sweethearts of Richland High School, the Royal Line Dance Team. The Royal Line is under direction of Annie Gibson with assistance from Lily Coney. Founded in 1964, the Royal Line celebrates their 60th anniversary by extending heartfelt gratitude to all alumni that preceded them, as well as Richland High School Principal Dr. Nathan Freimark and Associate Principal Tracy Bascroft for their continued support. The Royal Line is led onto the field by sophomore lieutenant Ellie Mae Shores, senior lieutenant Savannah Freeman, first lieutenant Kaylee Miner, Captain Andrea Rivas. Social officers are Kenna Butterworth, Vice President Winter White, President Cadence Smith. Our dancer of the week is Isabel Robles. Tonight, the Royal Line will be performing a streamer jazz routine to Bad Guy. Burkeville ISD Superintendent Dr. Gail Stinson, Associate Superintendent overseeing Fine Arts Skip Baskerville, Fine Arts Director Danny Dietrich, Fine Arts Assistant Director Mark McGahee III, and Board of Trustees President Chris Dries proudly present the award-winning Richland High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of drum majors Kendall Arena, Ayla Glenn, Casey Larson, and band president Savannah Freeman. Richland Band Geeks of the Week are Ava Loudermilk, Lauren Fulton, Jocelyn Cruz, and Raul Castaneda. The section of the week are the mellophones. And now, for your halftime enjoyment, the band will perform String Theory. Directors of the Richland Band are Nathan Hawk, Lizzie Perry, Anthony Rivera, and Mike Pickrell. Color Guard Director is Laura Rogers, assisted by Izzy Hafey and Juliana Vasquez. Percussion Assistant is Ari Lozano, and Marching Technicians Jackson Boyd, Kazushi Matsumoto, Ray Miranda, and Garrett Sorum. The Richland High School Band would like to thank their premier community sponsors, 5-Star Ford and Modern Practice. Their elite family sponsors, the Watkins family, Principal Dr. Nathan Freimark, and Richland Area Band Booster President Erica Freeman for their continued support and leadership. Go Royals!
back with you here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. Glad you're joining us here this evening. It's a 22-0 score at halftime. Alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. And before Colleyville gets ready to go for the second half, let's talk about the first half. 22-0 score. Richland pretty dominant in the first half of action. And let's look at some of the numbers. Richland 199 yards, Colleyville 121. Richland, they passed for 124. Colleyville just 43 yards in the air. But the one stat in Colleyville did have some good rushing attempts. They get 78 yards on the ground on 21 tries, out rushing Richland. But the passing game has been the struggle for Colleyville tonight. They've also turned it over twice. One was a pick six, another a fumble that turned into a score. So a couple turnovers that were costly for Colleyville. They find themselves in a 22-0 hole, and Jerry Edwards and company hoping to get this team locked in and ready to go. And you wonder, how are they going to come out in this second half facing this big deficit?
Well, you know, you just mentioned a lot of those stats there. Those two turnovers for touchdowns or that turned into scores really hurt them. And also not getting, to me, Mr. Blewett the ball enough. I understand they want to get Mr. Adams and Weaver and Bennett the ball. But, listen, you dance with who got you here to this second game in a 1-0 start. And he deserves more than 2 attempts at the ball. So you must find a way, be it punt return, kickoff return, reverses, screen plays. You got to find a way to get this guy the ball. He's that electric.
Bodie Weaver in the first half, he was 4 for 9 for 43 yards and had the 1 interception. On the other side, Drew Cates, very efficient, following up what was an efficient 9 for 13 last week. He goes 8 for 11 in the first half. This week for 124 yards, was clean, no turnovers. And then the 4-star running back, Mike Turner, 9 attempts for 46 yards, getting over 5 a carry and a couple touchdowns for him. On the ground for Colleyville, Bryce Abraham, 6 attempts for 36 yards. Bodie Weaver's gained 24. Colin Bennett, 8 for 18 yards. But it's the receiving. Just 3 different players for Colleyville have caught a pass so far in this game. Now at halftime, Braden Blewett, just 2 catches for 27 yards. He's been contained. They've looked his way a couple times where there's been a lot of coverage, but I think the big question, Shannon, you just brought it up, how can Colleyville get their superstar Braden Blewett more involved in the second half? That's the question right now, isn't it?
That is the question. And again, they're going. I'm sure they went in the locker room. I'm sure they drew it up on the board. I'm sure they said, listen, this is what worked. This is what didn't. But one thing we know for sure is that Mr. Blewett needs to have more attempts with the ball in his hands. So I know they're going to try their best to do that, but I believe the defense needs to come out, pitch a shutout, and I believe they get the ball back. I'm sorry. We get the ball back the first half. Oh, okay. Sorry about
Richland
that.
Richland will start.
Yeah, Richland will start.
They deferred it.
Yep, they did defer. I'm sorry. But anyway, to my point, their defense needs to pitch a shutout right here and give their offense opportunity to come down and score as soon as possible to get back in this football game.
Xavier Johnson, the Memphis commit, he had 3 catches for 56 yards, including a big catch on a 4th and 7 on a fake punt that ultimately set up another touchdown for Mike Turner. He had 2 scores. Drew Cates, 8 of 11. Again, the quarterback for Richland, pretty efficient. Bodie Weaver, 4 of 9. Penalties in the first half, 7 for Richland for 35 yards, 2 for 15 for Colleyville, but 2 turnovers hurting them. And we will see what they can do. Like you said, defense, can they pitch a shutout? They did last week, technically, if you talk about their defense on the field, just the lone score on the pick 6 for Red Oak a week ago. But we're off to the races here in the second half as the kick goes out of bounds around the 4-yard line. So that'll be a flag and set up decent field position for Richland to begin this second half. And really up 22-0 with a 4-star running back. Do you feel like the game plan, at least for Richland offensively, will be a lot of Mike Turner here in the second half, Shannon?
Well, I believe so. They just want to, at this point, let's get the game out over. Let's run the ball. Let's get the ball to our 4-star running back and milk the clock. And so I believe that's what they'll try to do. But I believe that Colleyville will step up to the challenge and say, not this half. we are, again, rubber band defense. We bent in the first half, but we're not going to break in this second half.
Well, very tough district for both of these teams. Realignment did not do either of these teams any favors. Colleyville now in 3-5A D2 with Argyle, Arlington, Seguin. You have the Colony next week, who's in this district. Timberview and Summit from Mansfield, Grapevine, Everman, and Burleson as well. And, well, for Richland, perhaps one of the toughest districts in the state of Texas as well. We'll get to that in a moment. First touch for Mike Turner, picks up about 4 yards as he gets to the outside, with Richland starting this drive in solid field position at the 30-yard line. Gaines able to force him out as Turner picks up about 5 yards.
Continuing with his average.
Now they look for Jones, and Deion Jones breaks a tackle and makes a nice evasive move, eventually brought down by Deidre, and gains a flag on the play as well. But Deion Jones, the second, led Richland with 745 receiving yards last year, has an explosive catch on the opening drive of the second half for the Royals.
Good open field tackle by Mr. Gaines, or that's a touchdown, so good pursuit by him.
He's had big catches. Deion Jones, 2 balls for 50 yards in the first half, and another big play there. And a face mask against Colleyville will tack 15 yards on to what was already a big play. And for Richland, interesting to see what they can do this year. They're now in a district that includes Aledo and Denton Ryan, 3 top 10 teams, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football in the state, all in that new district. And a team that won 12 games last year, led by Jed Cates, now in his 13th season. They brought every player back that gained at least 1 yard. So this is an offense for the second consecutive year with a lot of familiar faces. And Turner is wrapped up in the backfield. Great play made by Demarius Logan, the defensive lineman, to get the tackle.
What a good shed block. He came down off the line by Mr. Logan and met the running back in the backfield for a loss. That was a great play by him.
Marius Logan there on the stop. A loss of a couple yards on the tackle for loss, 2nd and 12. Go to Turner again, but there's a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be another penalty marker against Richland. That's the 8th marker against them here in this game, and another false start. Remember, they had 3 in a row in the first half in the false start department, and right there, they get tagged for another one to back it up even more. 2nd and 17 on the way.
And again, this is where the defense have to take advantage of this field position.
Cates drops back. He takes for the end zone shot, and it's connected. Xavier Johnson for a touchdown, 23 yards out. And another scoring drive for Richland. They're now ahead 28-0 as the Memphis commit Xavier Johnson has another big catch, his 4th of the night. And now he adds on a score. So 4 catches for about 80 yards and a touchdown now for Xavier Johnson. And the point after splits the uprights.
What a play by Mr. Johnson. And basically that was a straight up go route. What happened, the cornerback got on top of him and gave him too much wiggle room. You gotta use your sideline, so you now when he goes inside, you can cut him off. But once you get head on hit, I should say face up, he has too much wiggle room. And when he wiggles and put that left leg in the ground, boom, touchdown.
29-0, Richland has the lead. They march it down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. We'll be right back. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Mr. Johnson.
back with you here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. 29-0 score. Richland in complete control after the 23-yard touchdown reception by Xavier Johnson. And it's Richland ahead 29-0. Colleyville to get the football back as the Royals come out strong to start the second half of action. On the return, it's Braden Blewett, and he gets stopped up just across the 25-yard line. So Colleyville comes on out, down by 29. This is a moment for Colleyville, certainly with the scoreboard not in their favor at all. How they play the rest of this game, it'll tell a lot about their resolve.
Yes, it will, and they're going to have to air it out now. I mean, it's just what it is, guys. They got behind too much, and this is going to listen. This type of game, it tests your mental, it tests everything about you as a team, and so we'll see how they're going to play this third quarter. See if they have any fight back in them, but I believe they do. I know some of those coaches over there, and they're going to make sure they fight hard.
Well, Nick Wankambi makes a catch. The fifth completion of the evening for Bodie Weaver, and now Bryce Abram gets stopped up right around the line of scrimmage, eventually gobbled up by Brandon Marino, who has had a nice night, recovered a fumble in the first half that led to a Royals score, and it's third down and about 5 from the 33-yard line. But the resilience, the fighting back of this bunch will tell a lot about how they can dig deep with this big hole that they face right now. And it's a handoff trying to squeeze through a hole on the right side is Abram again. And he's going to be stopped right around the line to gain, and they're going to give him the first down. So he picks up 5 on 3rd and 5 to give Colleyville a fresh set of downs. And at the intermission, Colleyville, Bodie Weaver was 4 for 9 passing attempts, but they've run the ball 21 times. That was at the break. They favor the run so far, and this is a deep shot toward Braden Blewett, looking for the wide receiver on what was a little bit of an RPO, and it was not favorable coverage. 2 defenders trying to blanket Braden Blewett on the sideline, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, but at least he gave him a chance, guys. And, again, you have to try to go to him. He was blanketed. And I also thought the referee looked like he was going to throw a flag, and that's all you can hope for. Listen, either you score, you get a personal foul, or you pick up a first down. Those are your options right there most of the time when you go this guy.
2nd and 10. Carry and just trying to muscle forward for some yardage is Bryce Abram. The offensive line up front for the most part tonight, spearheaded by the center Eli Amerson, who's done a great job up front, a very cohesive unit. Most of the guys up front returning to this group, and it's the second consecutive year that they've had the opportunity to have that continuity on the line, and they've been working hard tonight in the run game. 3rd and 6, though, as Weaver drops back to pass, looks up the field, and gets brought down right at the 40-yard line. Coming in to make the play was Carlos Davis, the linebacker who had a dozen tackles last week, is able to knock down Bodie Weaver to set up a 4th and 8 from the 40-yard line.
That was a coverage sack. I mean, everybody was covered. He didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. And so, he's got to throw it away or try to run it. But everybody was blanketed in the secondary there. So that's a coverage sack.
So on 4th and 8, Colleyville with about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. From the 40-yard line, that'll bring out Ryan Zuckert, the punter. And for the second time tonight, he'll opt to punt this football back And it is off. A booming punt that rolls and is picked up around the 15-yard line. So quality punt right there. Not much of a return for the Royals' Deion Jones. You see the frustration on the Colleyville sideline. A flag is on the play. They just have not been able to get much going down the field. Those explosive plays that this offense seemed as though that it would be built upon after 1 week. They have not had those same opportunities here in week number 2.
Well, it looked like a little frustration is starting to set in, and guys are going to start losing their cool, but you can't do that. You got to focus in, and you got to find ways to get better in times like this. So Colleyville just got to keep their heads together, keep their cool, find ways to make some plays, find a way to get some sacks, find a way to get some points on the board, and get ready for next week. But you can't lose your cool.
So a couple of personal fouls on the play. They offset. So Richland with a 29-0 lead will start at their own 21 with 7.5 left in the third. Cates back to pass. Gonna tuck it and run, and he is stopped by Madden Williams around the 30. A good carry by Cates.
Stop made by Williams.
Great coverage in the back, but you have to contain the quarterback. Everybody was covered in the secondary, but you have to make sure that the quarterback don't break outside of the line of scrimmage.
It's been another efficient night for the dual threat quarterback, and now they go to Mike Turner. And he picks up 2 yards on 2nd and 1. Seems as though they've been able to operate on schedule tonight for this Royals offense. Yes, the explosive plays on those 3rd and longs and the 1 4th down, but first down carries that have set him up in 2nd and 3rd and short. And they just give the ball to Mike Turner. He's able to pick up the necessary yardage every time to continue these drives for the Royals.
He's not a 4-star recruit for nothing, guys. I mean, that's what a 4-star recruit does. He gets paid when it's time to get paid, and that's in yardage, in first downs.
Looking over the middle here, and Bryson Burgess on the coverage right there. Nearly with the interception. They were looking for Aaron Brooks on the pass. Bryson Burgess coming in with a great play made in the secondary for number 20 in white.
What a great play by Mr. Burgess. That was an awesome break. Wish he could have came up with the ball, though.
Pressure comes. They give a quick screen out to Johnson. He tries to run across the field, and Dax Hebeson wrestles him down. But no, he stays up. Johnson stays on his feet, and he breaks a tackle. It looked like Dax Hebeson had him down, but Xavier Johnson had other ideas, and he moves the chains. What a night Xavier Johnson is having.
Wow, that was one heck of a play by Mr. Johnson. He should have been down several times and found a way to turn that into a first down. My goodness, that was an electric play by him.
And electric, that is the way that a lot of people around the Richland program have described Xavier Johnson. 6'2", 170. And a handoff right up the gut there to Turner once again. But for Xavier Johnson, a big night for him. Had 4 catches for 70 yards in week 1. Even a bigger week along with a touchdown. He had a 44-yard touchdown catch last week and a big touchdown to open up the second half here this week. And they go on there to Evan Smith to move the chains as Drew Cates is operating this Royals offense right now at a pretty high level.
Yeah, and the defense has got to step up. I mean, the Richland's not going anywhere. They're not going to fold. They're not going to break just because they have 29-point lead. So defense got to step up and try to make a stop here. This game's not over.
So 1st and 10 from the 37. They go Outside, beating a man is Deion Jones. He's off to the races, and it's a touchdown, 37 yards. Deion Jones for 6 more, and the Royals are running away with this one.
I don't know what to say because he should have been tackled. He had a guy in his face, and he even broke down, and that's what you teach guys to do, break down when you get to the man. But the receiver had so much wiggle room, he got out of it and scored a touchdown. Wow, my goodness, what a play.
Deion Jones and Xavier Johnson, a very talented receiving duo to go along with Mike Turner. And this Richland offense, after scoring 38 points in a Week 1 win, well, they've put 36 up on the scoreboard. We've still got 5:16 to go in the third quarter. You're watching Panther Friday night on Tradio. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. The Royals of Richland continuing to impose their will on the offensive end. Deion Jones with an explosive play and a touchdown. Richland ahead 36-0 after a 22-0 halftime lead. They add on 2 more touchdowns, and they do it by going to number 4 and number 14. Deion Jones and Xavier Johnson in the passing game, looking pretty good. Jones and Johnson, those two together combined for 16 touchdowns last year. And they each have a score here in the second half. Xavier Johnson, Richland posted on their social media yesterday, he was having a visit with Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant's son, currently a freshman at Colleyville Heritage. Even more interesting, the people at Richland learning a little bit about Xavier Johnson, they say he's kind of a Rashee Rice starter kit. Rashee Rice, who played at Richland, then went to SMU, and now with the Kansas City Chiefs, who began their season last night. But he was somebody who had 3,000 yards here for Richland, Rashee Rice, and 25 touchdowns, leading all of DFW when he was a standout on the field. And he played under their current head coach, Jed Cates, now in his 13th season.
Well, that's a lot, man. Those are some great athletes, great numbers, and yes, I see it.
Here's a shot down the field looking for Braden Blewett. Couple in the coverage, no flag thrown, and there on the cover was Zayd Walker. Right now down 36-0 for Colleyville offensively. What is the approach for the Panthers in a situation like this? They want to continue to operate this offense because, let's be honest, all these games matter. Every single time you go out there, I know you know that being a former player yourself, but next week is when at least it starts to count in terms of your fate for the postseason. They open up district play in 1 week, but right now, and for the rest of this game, what would you like to see out of the Panthers so they can build some confidence going into week 3, which is the first week of district action next week at the Colony?
Well, you're right. All games matter, but now we're at a point in this game where it doesn't matter anymore because it's 36-0, and at some point, if you're not playing to get back in the game, then you don't need to get anybody hurt. So what I would do is I would work on some things that I can take into district that will help us down the line. I would try to keep people healthy because you need everybody in district play. This game means something, but it doesn't mean anything, if that makes any sense.
It does when you break it down. And for Richland on the other side in a very tough district, realignment, putting them with Alito, one of the top programs around, and Denton Ryan, number 1 and 2 in the state rankings in the preseason, all in the same district. Richland also a top 10 team in the state as they look for Samir Johnson down the field, and he's unable to haul that in, and the coverage was Zade Walker once more. He's been able to hold down Colleyville's wideouts, and Johnson unable to catch that one as Weaver tried to launch one deep once more.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more of those deep throws a little bit earlier in the game, just because of the potential and the percentages of things you can pick up, like first downs, fouls, or penalties, I should say, or touchdown. Now they're trying to go for it. That was good one-on-one coverage, and he almost had a chance to come up with the big catch.
So Colleyville will open up next week at the Colony to start district play. Richland and Colleyville trying to battle around realignment. Both these teams unblemished last year in certainly not as tough districts as they are in now this season. But for Richland, it was interesting. Jed Cates said in the preseason, he said, okay, 13 years I've been at the helm, I've coached some great players, Rasheed Rice being one of them, but never in my career have I come back as Zucker gets the punt off after the snap was dropped for a moment and punts this one out of bounds. He said, never in my career have I come into a season with every single player who at least gained a yard, anybody who rushed for a yard or caught a pass, back on my team. They didn't lose any. You know, typically teams say, oh, we bring everyone back. Literally every single guy back for this Royals offense. And what did this Royals offense do last year? They averaged 47 points per game, and you can see why. Now, they did lose some offensive line as Daniel Cruz, one of the top offensive linemen in the country, graduated and went on to Texas. But for the most part, and especially at all the skill positions, they have their guys back, and through a couple weeks, it's showing that this is a pretty electric offense, and it's not just number one in the backfield, Mike Turner. These receivers have stepped up and shown their worth as well.
Guys, the scoreboard, and you're absolutely correct, and that feels good as a head coach because this Colleyville bunch is not a bad team. They're better than this. But when you have a starting bunch come back like this with experience, that can overwhelm you. And right now, that's what's happened tonight. These guys are hitting on all cylinders on this side of the ball. And Colleyville just needs to clean up some mistakes and come back next week and get ready for the Colony.
Well, the handoff is off, and Drew Cates with another run on the ground. You wonder, too, how long are you going to see the senior Drew Cates in this ball game? Playing for his dad, Jed Cates, the coach's son and the quarterback, 32 passing touchdowns last year, and accounted for 42 touchdowns. He had over 3,000 yards in total a season ago, running and passing. You wonder how much longer he's going to be out on the football field. And Shannon, you may wonder, hey, who's their second string quarterback? Is that a flag that is thrown on a pass that is caught by L.J. Allison, his first catch of the season, but a flag is down. And we'll tell you who their backup quarterback is. It is Brett Cates, who he did get in last week against Haltom in their season opening win. Also, coach's son. He was a freshman last year, didn't really play, and he's the middle son. Jed Cates also has a younger son, so he said, hey, coaching sons, that's what I'm going to be doing for a long time. And he was part of some monumental history. He was the first trio of brothers to all concurrently serve as head coaches at the same time in the state of Texas football history, as two other of his brothers a couple years back, Matt with Merkel and Will, also coaching, or Matt with LaGrange and Will with Merkel. They were both coaching while Jed was a coach with Richland, and they became the first brother trio in Texas history to be all head coaches at the same time. They've moved on to take coordinator positions at other jobs now. But, I mean, he's had a lot of lineage in terms of coaching. All three brothers have been coaches. All three of his sons are football players. I mean, it even goes back to his grandfather, who, Joe Kerbel at Breckenridge, won titles in the 1950s. So it's been a long family history of football, and that's what it is, a family affair on the gridiron a lot of the time.
That is so awesome, man. I can identify with playing with your brothers. I never had my dad coached me in Pee Wee football, but at the high school level, me being the middle kid out of three, I was able to play with my older brother and win a state title in 1993 with the Louisville Fighting Farmers, and then play with my baby brother Danielle Brazil after that, and they went on to win the state championship in '96 after I graduated. So I know the brothers, man, just having a good time together and playing together and winning together, man. It adds a lot of conversation for the holidays around those dinners.
Oh, I'm sure. It definitely does. And for this game that was a 22-0 score at half, and it's only continued to be a greater deficit for Colleyville. They faced a deficit last week and were able to come back from 12, but this is a much bigger mountain to climb. And for Richland last season, claiming an outright district title for the first time since 1995, having a historic new school record for wins, well on their way to a 2-0 start this season as they get ready for a tough district after they were able to get that outright title, topping Mansfield Timberview in their district a season ago. And they were a team, when you talk about the flair for the dramatic, they overcame a 25-point deficit last season in the playoffs to continue their run, as it is Drew Cates who runs up the field on 2nd and long and brought down by Bryson Burgess with just about 2 to go in this third quarter. As it's a 36-0 advantage for Richland. They've just had their way tonight offensively. What has stood out to you on some of the holes that they've exploited in this Panthers defense tonight?
The play that just happened, I've seen that play several times tonight. They're applying pressure, but they can't contain him, and he's breaking on the left side every single time for a first down or some positive yards. They've got to put a spy on him or find a way to get off tackles to get this guy sacked in the backfield. Just getting pressure up the field is not good enough.
And the fumble, the ball is loose, and it looks like Demarius Logan hops on it after the ball pops out. So a break for Colleyville. They'll have their best field position of the evening, and a nice hop on the football of Demarius Logan, the junior defensive lineman, grabbing that one off the turf. So Colleyville will get the football in solid field position as the offense will go on out from the 31-yard line.
Again, what a good play, and that's what happens when you gang tackle. They just never gave up on the play and was able to get a good hit on the running back for a fumble.
So Bodie Weaver comes on out. Bryce Abraham in the backfield. Weaver gets the snap, looks for Blewett. Blewett immediately stopped up. Tackle made by Jalen Gordon, and he was right there. Gordon had the pick six in the first half, and he's been keeping a close eye on Blewett out on the outside. Not much room to run after the catch, but a pickup of about 4 on the reception for Braden Blewett, his third of the night.
Yeah, that was a similar play to the pick. Only difference is Mr. Weaver threw a lot better ball that time.
And here's a burst of speed for Abraham. He gets a first down as Colleyville moves into the red zone for the first time tonight. Abraham with the rush, and he gets met quickly by Roderick Roberts, the linebacker coming into the backfield to make the stop. Roderick Roberts has some interest. He was a first-team All-District linebacker last year, had 96 tackles and 17 tackles for loss. Gets that one right around the line of scrimmage. 5 tackles in a TFL last week. Has an offer from Stephen F. Austin as Nick Combi comes in with a catch. Roberts right there to make the stop once again. Linebacker all over the place, and it sets up a 3rd and 7. We'll probably see this on the other side as the third quarter's about to come to a close. So that'll take us to the fourth quarter of action. 36-0, final frame coming up. When we come back, it's Panthers Friday Night on radio.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough. Hey, just can't get enough. Come on, let's go. Can't get enough. Hey, start the show. Can't get enough. Yeah. Hey, just can't get enough.
Panther Friday Night on radio. 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Bodie Weaver is wrapped up in the backfield and the ball comes out. He was down. Zayd Walker coming in to send Weaver down to the carpet on a 3rd and 7 as we start the fourth quarter. So not the way that Colleyville planned to start the fourth quarter, but that's the theme of the night. Not much has gone their way here this evening with a 36-0 hole.
Yeah, Weaver stepped up in the pocket and got swarmed and just couldn't get out. And so he had to take a sack on that play. But they're going for it, and hopefully they can pick up the first down, keep the drive going.
So 4th and 13, they're from the 22. Weaver looks, end zone, incomplete, looking for Nick Combi. In the coverage again was Zayd Walker, but a penalty marker flies in the end zone. Shannon, what do you think?
That's what we've been talking about all night. Listen, you throw it deep, some things can happen for you. You get a touchdown, you get a first down, or you get a penalty, and that's what just happened. And I think they're going to move the ball to the 2-yard line because the penalty happened inside the end zone there. Yep.
So now Colleyville with their first real opportunity to put points on the board this evening. Much different than the way the game started. If you were with us, the second play from scrimmage was a 71-yard rushing touchdown that was called back from Colleyville. And now we enter the fourth. Still a 0 on the scoreboard, but a 1st and goal. And they have a chance.
Feed Mr. Abrams.
Weaver, quick pass, end zone. Braden Blewett makes the catch, and a touchdown for Colleyville.
What a beautiful pitch and catch, man. That was a beautiful throw and a good route by Mr. Blewett.
So a touchdown for Colleyville, their first points of the night. Makes it 36-6. One-on-one coverage. They found the man that will make lots of plays for Panther Nation here this season.
Yes, he will.
He really already has. If you were with us a week ago. Weaver again looks toward the end zone, and it's Braden Blewett again, who comes up with the catch in the corner of the end zone as Colleyville adds 2 more on the scoreboard. 36-8 now the score. Colleyville with a big deficit. There is a flag on the play. 2 flags that we count. As the officials will converse. But Colleyville takes advantage of a short field, Shannon.
Well, I tell you, all they did right there. Sorry, just listening to what the flags are on. All they did right there, guys, is one-on-one fade routes to Blewett on the right side, came back and did it on the left side. Same play, but that just goes to show you have to try to get this man the ball. And he scores the touchdown and extra point off the same play, just opposite sides of the field. What a great catch and throw.
Really, when you think about the red zone threat and Bryce Abraham, he's really been the feature back tonight. But when you get to the doorstep, you know that, hey, this is another weapon that we have in our arsenal. When you look at their goal line execution, huge to try to find 6 from the 1-yard line last week. They had a tush push. Right now, from pretty much point blank again, around the 2-3 yard line, they go to Braden Blewett. They find him again going for 2, and somebody that not many players can defend in one-on-one coverage. The kicker is he hasn't had much one-on-one coverage here tonight.
Yeah, and again, you know, I get that he's been double-teamed, and guys, he has. It's not a lie. He's been double-teamed, but you got to find other ways to get him the ball. When you're a stud like that, you got to understand defense is going to try to shut you down. But that doesn't mean you go away from what works. You absolutely do not. You find a way to get your studs the football however you can, whenever you can.
So Zuckert will kick this one off. It's the Colleyville sideline. Well, they've had better days, but they're trying to cap it off with a strong 4th quarter, and they take advantage of a lost fumble that turned into a score for the Panthers. As Ryan Zuckert will kick this one off for the Panthers. Looks like he may try to go short.
Zuckert kicking off for the Panthers.
He does go short. Ball is loose, and the Panthers hop on it.
Onside kick, and they got it.
Ryan Zuckert with a great onside kick. Landon Dressel comes up to pick up the pigskin, and the Panthers back on the football. We'll try to at least get some confidence going into the district opener next week. Down 36-8, but a score followed by an onside kick and recovery puts them again in great field position in plus territory.
Yeah, they have the momentum right now. There's a lot of ball game left in here, and right now you just want to play and take 1 score at a time and see what happens at the end of the game.
Bryce Abraham with the carry, running
number 21.
right up the right side. They've tried to get him off tackle tonight. They've moved him around, but a lot of those runs right up the gut for him, and he's had plenty of space on occasion. The blocking for him up front's been pretty solid, and they've just continued to pound the rock, and maybe just trying to say throughout this season, we want to establish that ground game, and maybe that can open up what we want to do this year with Braden Blewett and the other weapons, Samir Johnson, Nickwan Combi, that they have in the passing game as well.
Yeah, and again, I love Mr. Abrams. He's running hard. He's running strong tonight, and they're trying to get him. They're trying to break one with him, and so I believe you're right. They're just trying to set up the run for later on and hit and start hitting guys over the top. That formula tonight hasn't worked, but I can sure see it working later on in the future.
So Colleyville will try to gather themselves. 10:36 to go in the 4th quarter of action. Chandler Sampson heading out there, the offensive lineman, alongside Jaden Griffin, who looks to be at left tackle now. Well, Eli Amerson at center, and Wes Dalio-Cubic over at right tackle, with Tucker Perryman over at the right guard. Weaver rolls out to the right, launches down the field, and it's caught by Nick Gwankambi, the senior wideout, with a nice catch. He made a clutch catch last week to set up that touchdown from Bodie Weaver inside the 10-yard line, and he gets a connection right there.
Beautiful throw and catch. They're on the same page on that play. Ends up in the first down.
3 receptions for Gwankambi here tonight. Abram run out, and he gets stopped at the 21. They're feeding Bryce Abram here tonight.
Also checking in on the play, number 20, Brayden Johnson.
You know, on this drive, they have 2 people literally on Blewett. And so when you have something like that, that means somebody else has got to be open. They're not accounting for the quarterback, so they're able to double team Mr. Blewett.
You see that on our screen. 2 people lined up right by number 8 at the bottom of the screen. That's shot. End zone. Touchdown. Samir Johnson from 21 yards out puts Colleyville on the board. Back-to-back scoring drives, and the Panthers show some life here in the fourth quarter.
Guys, it's a numbers game. When you literally have 2 people on one man, somebody else has to be one-on-one, has to find a way to get open, and that's what just happened. You have to feed some of these. Hey, listen, there's some other ball players on this team as well, and they got to step up and play.
Prime example right there, Samir Johnson, 21-yard touchdown reception in Colleyville. Go for it again, looking for Blewett. This time, he turns to the inside. Instead of the fade, he runs the slant toward the middle. Again, same result. 2 points on the board for Braden Blewett.
That man's a touchdown magnet. And again, guys, 2 people were still on him. He just found a way to get open. He just found a way to get open.
That is the interesting thing as we continue to detail and document this Panthers season. Other teams everyone watches tape, and when you watch the tape and look at how will Colleyville still get Braden Blewett the football, even with clear double coverage there most of the night, and some of those different routes that you can run, you still, okay, like you said, Samir Johnson one-on-one coverage, other guys have to step up, but you still don't want to abandon a 3-star wideout as well.
Great point, and again, the same once they got inside the red zone, I'm sorry, 2-on-1, but what happened now, he runs a quick slant. Well, the second guy's not able to make that play, right? Quick slant, he's able to get inside, you throwing the ball, now he scores, right? So you have to just find the angles, like I said before, to get him the football. I don't care if he's triple team, you got to find a way to get that guy the football.
And a lot of star receivers, they get that treatment. It's obviously out of respect, but a lot of them as well, it's a challenge for the quarterback because you're throwing into tighter windows as well, and that's something that Bodie Weaver and Braden Blewett will continue to develop that chemistry. Certainly Braden Blewett, such a great player to have on your team for a first-year starting quarterback. You're seeing some signs of that. You saw it huge in week 1, and in the fourth quarter, Colleyville showing that after back-to-back scoring drives, they score, get an onside kick, score again, and another onside kick attempt, this time recovered by Drew Cates. The quarterback comes out there on the hands team to recover the onside kick.
Now let's see if the defense come out here with 9:46 left on the clock and pitch a 3 and out. That's their job right now. That's their job. Get the offense back the ball again. You just keep playing until the clock says 0-0-0, and we'll settle for whatever scores on the scoreboard.
So Cates and company will come on out for the Royals. Still Drew Cates, the senior quarterback. quick throw. He tries to go outside. Chase Gibson all over it. Somebody we haven't called upon much tonight. He stepped up in a big way. First time playing varsity football last week, going up against that trio of wideouts. And he was running with them stride for stride and makes a really nice stop right there on the pass attempt out to Aaron Brooks.
What a great play by Mr. Gibson by shedding a block and coming off a block and able to make a tackle for loss. Heck of a play by this young man.
For a lot of the known commodities on this defense, Gibson, somebody that Coach Edwards talked about stepping up and really in a big way when they had some key pieces out in the secondary. Another quick throw, and they look for Deion Jones, who's been great tonight. Deidrean Gaines is there in the coverage. Deion Jones, their leading returning wideout from last year, had 40 catches for 745 yards, was lethal in that duo with Xavier Johnson as well. But it's incomplete. So 3rd and 12, 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. And Colleyville's offense showing life in the fourth quarter with a couple of scoring drives. Cates, deep shot, and it's incomplete. 5 yards out of the reach of the intended target. Aaron Brooks, initially the snap he had to bring down, and then just launched it up the field, hoping for some positive results, but Bryson Burgess was all over the coverage, and the ball was well out of the reach of the intended target, Aaron Brooks.
That was just great pressure by the defense. That's why he was able to, he didn't have much time to throw that ball on target, so he overthrew his receiver, but great pressure by the defense.
So the Royals will punt. Last time we thought they were going to punt. It was a fake punt. Now it's going to be down to Bryson Burgess, who picks this one up and has a nice return going across the 30, knocked down at the 35-yard line, and a quality return from Bryson Burgess. So, Shannon, you said, let's see this defense step up. They step up, give Colleyville the football back. Obviously, this effort that is put on in the fourth quarter right now, mind you, with still all the ones in for both sides, too little, too late, but great to see.
Great to see. Again, you just want to play some good football right here. Now they've got it. The defense have done their job. Now the offense needs to score as soon as they can and don't waste much time doing so. And again, we'll see what happens at the end of the game. But right now, they have the momentum to finish this game strong, no matter what the score is.
So Colin Bennett with a chance to run the football and gets up to the 40-yard line and pick up a 5.
Colin Bennett. Tackle made by the Royals, number 48, Rico Castro. He had a 5 on the play out to the 40-yard line. Brings up second down for Heritage.
Braden Blewett lined up at the bottom of your screen, right next to Landon Dressel. Blewett in that slot. Weaver, time in the pocket, goes long again. It's incomplete. He was looking for Nick Guancambi down the field, but could not haul it in by the sideline.
What a good throw by Mr. Weaver. He's got to bring that ball down. It hit him in his hands. If it hits you in the bread basket, it's your job to bring it in.
You know, Shannon, I've noticed tonight, for players that play at a high level, you like deeming them misters, but other guys, they're not misters, right? You got to earn that distinction, right?
You have to earn that. Listen, that's never going to leave me. You have to earn these titles, man. I'm not giving you anything.
So 3rd and 5 with 8 to go. Good to see the shots being taken down the field because you have Wancambi and Johnson. Those look like the two other candidates for explosive plays in the passing game alongside the lock in Braden Blewett. But we'll see. 3rd and 5 was a pretty good looking ball and trying to get it toward the sideline. Stoppage right now. 8 minutes left in the fourth, but continuing to build some positive things in this fourth quarter. After facing the deficit they did of 36-0, they put up 16 unanswered thus far. Weaver trying to escape some pressure, throws it down the field looking for Colin Bennett, and he's not able to come up with it. The running back got far down the field as Bodie Weaver was just running. Usually on that type of escape, getting out of the pocket, just throw it away. He found a man, but Colin Bennett was not able to make the catch.
Yeah, Mr. Bennett heard those footsteps. That ball should have been caught, but I'm telling you, he had somebody zeroed in on him, and that's why he dropped the ball. But you got to help your quarterback out, your team out, and you got to make that play. I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to sacrifice a hit for your team.
4th and 5. Pressure comes. Weaver, connection to Samir Johnson up to the 45. Connection over the middle to move the chains and keep the drive alive.
Great one-on-one play. Great catch by the receiver.
Johnson comes off after the catch. Weaver will keep it himself, put his head down and get to the 40.
We saw a lot of that last week. He hadn't done too much of that today, so that's interesting to see him tucking and running.
Picks up 5. Weaver back to pass. Dart over the middle once again. Nick Wankambi is able to make the catch, and that was the same play they just ran to Samir Johnson. Johnson comes off. Wankambi comes in, and he hauls it in.
Yeah, he has one-on-one against the cornerback, and he's able to get inside and right behind the linebackers and making some big catches.
Bennett stopped up at the line of scrimmage. Under 7 minutes to play in this 4th quarter of action. Panther Friday night on Tradio. To shout out our great sponsor here for the 4th quarter. J. Caldwell Pools brings you our 4th quarter. And all place kicking is brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. Kickoffs tonight by Texas Live. 2nd and 10, 6:54 to go. 36-16, but a 16-point effort late in this game for Colleyville. Making it a more respectable result, whatever it may be, and showing some life as they try to gather some momentum and get ready for next week. Our next broadcast will be live on the road at the Colony to open up district play a week from today. Weaver. He passes over the middle, intended for Landon Dressel, but it's knocked down at the 5-yard line. Good cover out of Brad Noel in the secondary for the Royals.
Yeah, Mr. Weaver's putting the ball in great places. These guys are how to make some plays for him, help him out. You got to do whatever you can to bring those balls in.
So 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Another shot toward the end zone. Braden blew it. Did he haul it in? He did not. They say he's out of bounds. Another acrobatic catch, but it's out of bounds. Close one.
He might have been out of bounds, guys, but that play was magnificent. He had 2 people on his legs, and he still caught the ball. Wow.
He is just a walking highlight reel, and nearly another one that he just made, just out of bounds. That'll set up 4th and 10. The Panthers try to keep this drive alive and try to build on what's been a positive 4th quarter, at least, for them. Weaver gets drilled right around the 30. A big-time hit being made is Braden Johnson, who knocks Bodie Weaver down, and a turnover on downs gives the Royals the football.
If you're going to step up in that shark territory, you got to make a decision, and he made one a little too late and paid the price by a linebacker.
The 28-yard line, 1st down for the Royals.
That's Braden Johnson. Big price to pay, as he certainly laid a big hit, and that came from a first-team all-district linebacker in Braden Johnson, the senior, at 6', 211, who had 9 tackles for loss a season ago. And the pile just being pushed forward on the Turner carry. So the one's still out there, the combination
On the stop for the Panthers, number 75.
of Drew Cates and Mike Turner for the Royals with 6 to go in the fourth quarter.
Above the 33-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play. Brings up second down.
They are just finding ways to pound it up the middle. And the power runs. Look at what Mike Turner can do, and a lot of his ability, and at least his notoriety in the recruiting space, has come of what he can do when he doesn't have runs like this, powering through piles, which is, don't get me wrong, a great part of his game, but he also has that breakaway speed. We have not really had to see that here tonight.
Right.
Contained him in that regard, right?
Right. They have, and he's electric type of running back where he's averaging 4 to 5 yards a pop, moving the ball up the middle. But also, if you get him on the edge, he's hard to bring down. So he just has a full package. I hate to see that he's down on the field right now. We'll see what's going on with him in here in a second.
So 3rd down and 3. And that's Turner down on the field right now. Did you see what happened on that play?
Well, I think he either got stepped on or he's cramping because it was a gang tackle, and he jumped up pretty fast and come out limping. So I think he got stepped on is going to be my guess. But he's up and looked like he can walk off on his own 2 feet, so that's good.
It's Turner appears to be shaken up. And for a lot of the fans of football in the DFW area, Mike Turner, rated by the Fort Worth Star-Telegram as the number 2 player to watch in all the area here this season, a 4-star running back committed to Baylor. One of the top running backs in the country comes off here with 5.5 to go in the fourth. Hope he is all right.
Well, this is where you got to be smart as coaches. You're up big in the ball game. You might want to think about taking some of your starters. You have a long season, and so you start getting key people hurt, and that could potentially be out for the season. That's huge, and I don't wish that on anybody, and I hope that's not the case here. But he was walking off the field pretty lightly. He couldn't put any weight on that leg.
So the QB still back there. They're going to go to the ground, this time on the run. It's going to be Kenyon Long. He had 6 attempts last week for 14 yards and has not really had much action at all here tonight. That was his first carry, and then the Mike Turner show all of this game, but he comes off being shaken up, and on 4th and 1, the Royals will punt the football back to Colleyville, and they'll get it maybe for a final time here tonight.
It'd be good. Again, let's keep playing hard. Let's go down and score. That should be the mentality of Colleyville once they get the ball back. And again, showing what they're made of, finishing with points on the board, and nobody wants to be shut out. So, they've been able to put some drive together and put some points on the board, and that's a good thing. Gives them momentum, per se, for themselves going into next week in the district play. At this point, this game means nothing. We've already established that. Now we got to stay healthy. Now we got to focus on the things we've done well and then get better at the things we did in practice next week.
So delay of game will back the Royals up. More room on this punt. And they get the punt off. It's Burgess who will let it go. And you bring up a great point about you take this game, you take the first game, you use that as information, the tape, the study, and the gearing up for district play, week 1 of district play coming up next week. And Jerry Edwards said, every time you suit up, you want to win a football game, kind of what we've talked about tonight. But he said, what really matters for our hopes in getting into the playoffs, we pride ourselves on being a Region 1 favorite every year. But to get to the postseason, we have to perform well in our district, and all that begins next week. But you talk about the practice leading up to that this week, they have some things they can take from this game and say, we can do better. What are some things you think that they could improve upon throughout this week that they could maybe focus on getting ready for the Colony?
I tell you, you make good points. They won a great game last week. Well, they fought hard, and this week they felt that they're going to fall short according to the score right now and the time that's left in the ball game. So you have a lot of great film from last week, and you have some film from this week where you didn't do so good. As we say, the eye and the sky don't lie. They have plenty of video to watch to get better at, to start district play. So they'll take last week into this week into next week, and I guarantee you this will be a different team come next week against the Colony.
Deep shot. They are looking down the field for Samir Johnson. He was double covered as well. And so an incomplete pass, 3:47 left in the fourth quarter. But for being a different team and coming out on a different note, that is probably part of it as well. In both games, they were kind of behind the 8 ball. They were able to overcome a 12-point deficit in game number 1. It was a thrilling victory, a super high of highs you're on, last-minute field goal. And to be able to come back from that and reset and get ready for another 12-win team that had a great year to open up your season, it's a tough thing to come back from, but a lot they can learn from as well from what will be a defeat here in week number 2 for Colleyville.
Well, the game plan based off all that and what we've seen is that they need to start now, meaning they're fighting from behind all the time. They're still fighting from behind now just to get scores on the board. They've got to find a way to start right away next week against the College, put some points on the scoreboard first, and then do have some great defensive play, and then try to shut them out next week on the first series of defense. And so they just got to put some things together, and they're right there at it. They're right there. They'll get better.
So Trevi Preisha is able to make a catch, his first of his career. Good to see for the young wide receiver. And I mean, we should say, okay, first play from scrimmage last week, we thought it was a big 60-yard touchdown for Braden Blewett. It was called back. They still scored on that drive, but the point being they still went down by double digits in that week 1 game. They're down 22-0 at halftime today, and that lead only propelled to 36-0 before they're able to put a couple scores on late and make it 36-16 now. And it looked like they had a big play on the second play of the game this week. It was a 71-yard rushing touchdown from Bryce Abraham that was called back because of a holding penalty. But starting fast, you think that's going to be a key to the game for Colleyville, not trying to play from behind. It's good to have that skill because you're going to go down in football games, especially in a tougher district that they find themselves in this season.
And they prove they can do it once, and then tonight not so much. So they know the taste of playing from behind. Why not try to play from the front this time? Let establish the mindset. We're not going to get behind. We're going to play. We're going to set the tone early. We're going to come kick them in the teeth from the first play and then put the pressure on them. Let's try to play that way and see what happens.
So Weaver tried to escape the pocket. He twists and turns down across the 35-yard line.
Gibson on the stop for the Royals.
Defensively tonight for Colleyville, your assessment, it was some missed tackles that led to some explosive plays. Overall, though, is there's a shot toward the end zone, and it's incomplete, looking for Nick Wankambi. But overall, how would you evaluate what Colleyville did to contain Mike Turner tonight, the 4-star running back? 15 carries, about 60 yards. He did have a couple scores, but overall, he didn't have any game-breaking plays, and they contained him for the most part. What's your thoughts on Colleyville's defense tonight?
My thought on the defense tonight, I give them a B+ on stopping him from breaking the big ones, right? Because this guy can go anytime you give him the football. And for the most part, his stuff has been from the slot position, getting him the ball in different ways, whereas giving him the ball straight out of the backfield, they pretty much have contained him. But what I would give them probably a C is because the quarterback has broken the pocket so much after being pressured to where he hadn't been accounted for. So if they can put that together, they would have had a solid night. But just against the run, the 4-star, I think they did pretty good tonight. I really do.
The thing that probably bit them the most was just those yards after the catch on short intermediate passes as well. And that really helped them push forward because the down and distance game, they were set up really strong even when they weren't looking to go down the field because Turner, like you said, yeah, he got about 4 yards a carry tonight, but you do that on first and second down. They were set up at third and short quite a bit this evening and had a lot of yards after the catch when they needed to on those third and longs as it's thrown over the middle and caught at the 30-yard line. That's Connor Supankase on the catch, the junior wide receiver.
Number 15, Connor.
To your point, one-on-one with anybody with that guy, he's gonna juke you, and that's what happened a lot of times where they had him stop, and he just reversed across the field, making multiple people miss him to pick up a first down. Which, if that was some normal running back, they would have had him sacked. This guy's a 4-star athlete. He's not normal.
Well, complete there to Johnson. Chains continue to move. Time continues to tick, though. Just about 90 seconds left in this fourth quarter of action as they hook up with Samir Johnson. So Samir Johnson, Ikwankambi out there on the near side. Weaver tries to run out of the pocket, looks toward the end zone, and nearly a Trevi Prescia touchdown, but goes through his hands.
That was a good play by the quarterback and the receiver being on the same page. He just pointed to go upfield, and Mr. Weaver threw the ball over the shoulder of the defender. He just missed the ball, though. He just had to bring it in.
Young wideout on this team getting some opportunities with the game out of hand now. Some things you like to see from a player that has multiple years of varsity football in front of him. Weaver is looking to escape danger, and he's not able to escape it completely. It's pushed down and stopped up.
This is where Mr. Weaver's youth kicks in. When you got people coming at you, and I know he's usually good at making plays with his feet, but you got to throw that ball away and live to see another day. It's just too many bullets coming at you. At some point, you're going to get shot, so you got to throw that ball away.
Less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Bodie Weaver and company, 36-16 the score. A third and long. He throws a prayer down the field, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Royals, and bringing this one back with nobody to stop him. You don't see that too often. Jalen Gordon, a couple pick sixes for him tonight, and he brings this one back 90 yards for a pick six. Jalen Gordon, 2 pick sixes tonight. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be on sportsmanlike conduct on Richland. But I tell you what, I believe Mr. Weaver was hit. That ball kind of floated, looked like he got stuck in the air, and the defender fell down. And Merry Christmas to that cornerback to pick it off and run it in for a 90-yard touchdown.
Yes, Weaver was hit, and then, like you said, the receiver he slipped up. And how about Jalen Gordon here tonight? He has 2 pick sixes. Jalen Locksmith Gordon, a SMU offer for him. He's a 5'9", 150-pound junior. 7 tackles last week and 2 pick sixes here this week.
That's awesome, man. That's as an individual, that's what you want. You want to come out here and play your best football. I don't care. That wasn't his fault that the quarterback got hit or the receiver fell down. He did his job, and so as a player, he has to be excited about that. And I'm being a TCU guy. I'm not much to speak on SMU and all that. They're rivals to me, but hey, good luck to him for going over there.
Well, just an offer. We don't know yet, but he's piquing some interest from some programs, and you can see why.
On the interception team, 13 and 29. They will both be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, he keeps playing like that, he's going to get a lot more offers than SMU, I'll tell you that.
Well, he's right place, right time, and nobody to beat him, brings it back 90 yards. The other interception he had, he brought it back about 25 yards, and that was a really impressive display that he had to jump the route on the Bodie Weaver look to the outside. PAT tacked on. Richland 43-16. They're in complete control. Just 30 seconds left. We'll take a timeout on Tradio.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Back with you. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. Shout out to our great crew, Hunter Paris at the controls, our director and producer tonight up here in the booth. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil. And playing defense, Shannon, I know one thing you look at in stats is points per game, right? Points per game allowed.
Well, yes.
However, 21 points this season against Colleyville's defense has come from Colleyville's offense. They've thrown 3 pick sixes this season already, week 2, 1 last week, and 2 tonight. So you look at the scoreboard and say, right, Colleyville allowed 43 points tonight, but 2 pick sixes and another fumble that led to a touchdown shortly after. It paints the defense's picture. Still not a great effort tonight. Right. They had some big plays, but it doesn't tell the full story, Shannon.
It does not, and you got to be accountable. The scoreboard, you're going to look at it and say, wow, they couldn't score, but that's not the case. The defense, you got to stop people from scoring. You've got to. Matter of fact, I don't think the defense have had a pick six this year, if I'm not mistaken. It's just one of those situations where both sides of the ball is going to have to play solid and be accountable to one another. But giving up points, it's not a good deal. It just hurts you.
Absolutely, and so for tonight, when you look at what the Panthers try to do when their defense is on the field, like you said, 2 touchdowns have been put up by Richland when their defense has been on the field, and that's hurt Colleyville. The football gets moved way back to unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on the pick 6 of 90 yards. It will not seem to bother Richland too much. They will kick it off inside their own 15-yard line with just 30 seconds left in the ball game. Burgess with the catch around the 30. He gets to the outside. Bryson Burgess with some space turns on the Jets and gets right by the pylon for a touchdown.
What a play. That was about want-to will right there. That young man hit the right side of the field and turned on the Jets. That's awesome to see. Way not to give up. That's a way.
Holding down the sprint button for a while, he bursts to the outside and explodes for a touchdown running up the sideline. Well, you look at points allowed, and that is another one in the category of, okay, special team scoring goes against your defense's points per game allowed. Yeah. Not that anybody cares. The only stat people look at is the W or the L. I understand. As Zucker goes for the point after, and the flag is down, but the kick is up and true from Ryan Zucker. Offsides was the call, and place kicking this season for Colleyville is brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. Bryson Burgess, he brings it back.
That was exciting, man. That was like
70 yards.
Yes, that was good. That got me fired up right there. What a play.
And they kick off from their own 15, inside their own 15, because 2 unsportsmanlike kind of penalties. Now, no harm, no foul. You're going to come out with the victory. But the 2 fouls did have you kick off deep, and that's just probably something that the coaching staff will say, hey, we want to get excited, but if that's a close game, you're letting up an easy 6. Now, Bryson Burgess made an incredible play, but you're giving the other team, even if he doesn't take it back, great field position because you had 2 unsportsmanlike kind of penalties. Colleyville took advantage of it. And it makes the scoreboard look a little bit different. They put 23 points up on the board here in the second half to try to overcome which was a 22-0 halftime deficit.
Minus those mistakes where the picks are going to the house, man. This is a different game. If those mistakes don't happen, we're talking a different game, and we're talking a team that fought back in the second half last week, fought back in the second half this week, just a little too late. But this team has no quit on them. That's what that shows me. But they just have to clean up the mistakes, and they're going to be okay in district play.
So Bodie Weaver with a couple of touchdown passes in the fourth quarter, and Bryson Burgess takes one back, putting the special teams unit for more points. That unit was able to score on a safety last week on a bad snap on a punt. Fair catch called, 15 seconds left. Gonna see a knee and one final play coming up as Richland will improve to 2-0. Colleyville will fall to 1-1. We thank you so much for watching and tuning in tonight on Panther Friday night here on Tradio. Hunter Paris doing a great job up in the booth, joining us as our producer and director tonight. And for Trey Bell and the entire Tradio crew, we really appreciate your time this Friday evening. But Colleyville comes up short in this one, faced a big 22-point halftime deficit. They put 23 on the board in the second half and have a massive fourth quarter, but not enough to overcome the big hill they had to climb. And the Richland offense, led by their star senior quarterback, Drew Cates, and the running back, Mike Turner, come out on top in this ball game. Thanks again for tuning in tonight. 43-23, our final score here from North Richland Hills, Texas. Richland takes it 43-23. Shannon, final thoughts?
Hey, listen, good second week of football. Glad to be here with you. I'll tell you what, these two teams are good teams. They both will get better, and can't wait to do it again with you next week, buddy.
Looking forward to it. It will be Colleyville at the Colony to open up district play next week. We'll talk to you then. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.